For legs, how'd you get the physique? Was it gym or how'd you get the physique?
I've always been.
She's actually not got powerful legs. Do you shower in your dressing room? Do you have a shower on the day of a fight or not? Tell us about the tattoos.
Shut the fuck up, you little prick.
But then I've got the Phoenix.
Hey, prick.
So I'll take it from Bob every day of the week.
Absolute disgrace.
I'm sure no one will mind.
Move him out of here, Darren.
Ricky Hatton didn't go over for his fighter because he risked getting abducted and sold into sexual
I never said that.
Both have been rape victims. I'm not watching Frank Buglioni live on Saturday night. You're out of your mind.
Jesus Christ, get yourself a life.
He's actually a priest.
Yeah.
It's because his brother John Fury eye gouged him.
What have I told you all this time? He's going to end up sucked out, fucked out, looking for a handout.
Boxing nutters messenger group. I'm gonna be the king.
J-Pump, you know what I'm saying?
Welcome, everyone, to the 546th edition of the Boxing Asylum Nuthouse, which Steve has titled Fat Fury's Farce. I like that one. I'm your host, Matt D. John, with us today. Danny Young, Rob Kelly, Andy Patterson. Might see a few more nutters hopping in today. Mr. Wellington is off in the UK tending to some goat-related business. So, alas, we are here to discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly from the prior weekend. And there was a lot of good stuff, and we'll get to that. But let's start off with what was pretty disastrous outing in Saudi Arabia for the lineal heavyweight champion, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, who barely snuck away with a victory, winning on two cards, one 96-93, the other 95-94, and then losing one 95-94 to boxing debuting Francis Ngannou, who, despite his MMA record, is a novice in the boxing ring. And in the third round, he landed kind of a cuffing left hand, caught Fury a little bit behind, and down he went. And I have never seen a look like that on Tyson Fury's face before. Not when he went down with Wilder or anything else. And he managed to sneak away with it. But Andy, for me, that look on his face, it spoke something specific. He was embarrassed. Absolutely embarrassed.
It should be, mate, to be fair. After all the talk and everything else, you know, it was just an awful spectacle, in my opinion, at least. Just watching the guy basically struggle from time to time. I mean, I'll be honest, I thought he won the fight, but it was not convincing. He struggled with the size, probably the power, the strength, shall we say. And Ngannou, you know, when he did cut loose with his shots, he was they were quick, there were power behind them. Definitely made Tyson think twice about it. But I just don't think he had, you know, sustained moments. I think Tyson was, you know, just kind of like happy to get on the jab and the right hand and work it that way. But he was definitely had moments where he was toiling in the fight without doubt. Getting dropped like that, as I say, it will be an embarrassment for him at least. He has achieved great things, you know, as you know, coming back from what he's done. But at the same time, I just think over the last year, 18 months, it's like he's been treading water. Usyk was not impressed there last night. His gang is sitting there ringside, pissing their pants, watching that. If anything as well, okay, Fury might have got the nod, but Ngannou wins the night basically, because I think it was Rob I was speaking to actually last night when I said after about the 5th or 6th round, Ngannou looked like he was ready to gas, and somehow he seemed to hang in there, but he just didn't have the sustained moments and that. And Fury, I think, just kind of maybe just kind of like not easily picked away, but he kind of like gradually kind of like picked himself through the fight. He was. I don't think he was cut, but he was definitely, there was blood coming from his top of his forehead. I think that might need a wee bit of time to heal. He was marked up running about one of the eyes. So yeah, look, it was just awful. I didn't catch much on the card, thankfully. I just seen what was on Twitter. Glad I didn't even invest looking at the legal stream until later on to the main event, and then obviously when I did get the legal stream going, it was 50 minutes until the main event happened. So. I was getting ready to go to bed as well, but then obviously with the Tyson getting dropped, it made it a wee bit more interesting, and you kind of felt like, okay, can he hit him with something else and drop him? Because part of me seems to think actually, is Fury checked out? Is it a bad night? Has he undertrained? Has he overtrained? Has he not taken it seriously? Is he washed? Has he got the same desire? I don't know. A lot of question marks there in that as well, to be fair. And our man, Mr. Usyk, that as well. He's no, when they meet up with Tyson, that he wasn't really for much for clowning around in that. It seems to be all business for him just now. Fury spoke as well that December 23rd was going to be the date. He seems to be welching on that. So this will be a matter of watch this space going forward, unfortunately. So it was not great.
Yeah, like I've a bit of a theory on it. Sorry, Matty. I have a theory on it. Like, did the 3 fights back to back with Wilder take something from Fury? Because to me, he hasn't looked great since the third Wilder fight. Dillian White was a cakewalk for him. I mean, we saw what he was like with Jermaine Franklin after the fact. We saw him get fucking starched by Povetkin and Eddie's back garden. He was never going to offer a threat and he was chinny anyway. He's been knocked out every time he was beaten, so he was never going to offer a threat to Tyson or any kind of opposition or kind of any kind of adversity. Same with Derek Chisora, a fella he nearly killed 15 years beforehand, and probably look worse out against him the next time. And you can say maybe he's carrying him or he's not engaging, but I wondered, like, the concussive knockout, even though he woke up in the first fight against Wilder, he drilled him in the second fight, he held his feet, he didn't go down, but in the third fight he got dropped twice. And like, I just wonder, is he, because it looked like that his equilibrium was gone like the minute he got hit. I have to say, you have to give massive credit to Francis Ngannou to be able to go in, have never had a boxing fight before, perform in such a big event, like a massive arena, all the stars of the world there, Ronaldo, the whole shebang, and he goes out with nothing to lose. And credit to Mike Tyson as a trainer too, because the way he threw that left hook, it was decent technique. He countered a straight right hand with a left hook and fucking clattered Fury. And I thought Fury looked gun shy afterwards. I thought he was scared to engage. I don't think he got his. Yeah, I don't think he.
It never occurred to him that could happen.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, maybe. Obviously, there's talk he took it lightly, but I listened to Andy Lee and Sugar Hill and talk about the full 12-week camp, and he was talking about him and Parker having really competitive sparring, and he says he took it, and this was before the fight, and he said he took it like any other camp, and he was there for the whole thing. Sugar Hill and Andy Lee were bullying last night. You could see the face on them afterwards. They weren't happy. Like, Fury did fuck all with Ngannou. Like, now what does that? I don't know. What does that say about boxing versus MMA? I don't know if it's a black eye on the sport. It's certainly a black eye on Tyson Fury because his fucking face is marked up like fuck. I did say that this would, if Ngannou could have done it, it probably would have fucking served him all right for holding up the heavyweight division and waiting out on this big massive payday, waiting us all out. And maybe Fury's paying the price for his own inactivity now. Like, he fights once a year now. He's a year off in between fights. Ngannou's inactive too, by the way. He hasn't fought in even longer, so that's and he's never fought a 10-rounder in his life. Like, so that's another thing and another bit of credit in his favor. But hugely disappointed for boxing, like, to see a guy like Fury take a shot like that. But it's going to be hard for people to have sympathy for him because of the way he's behaved over the last 2 years. That we never spoke highly enough about Tyson Fury over the years and his achievements and what he did to the sport. And when he beat Wilder, we gave him all the praise in the world. But when you take 2 gimmies, the credit in the bank for that starts to go away. And then when you fucking set up an exhibition for yourself for just a ton of money while waiting out the heavyweight division, and whether he's responsible or not, I know he's banning talk sport and all now, but whether he's responsible or not, he waited out the heavyweight division, right? We got no fucking big fights. We didn't get him versus Anthony Joshua. Whether he's culpable or Joshua's culpable or Eddie Hearn's culpable or Frank Warren, whoever it is, we never got the fucking fight. And we got this exhibition match. And I was saying at the time, it would have served him right if Ngannou had to pull something out of the fire and fuck the bag up for everyone. Now, he didn't quite do that, but he definitely dropped Tyson Fury's stock last night because people, he's given ammunition to every Tyson Fury hater now to say an MMA guy making his debut had you fucking life and death. Had him life and death.
We've had Fury taking on about, I could take him in the cage, that type of thing. People forget, when Fury got dropped there last night, what would have happened in the cage?
It would have been over.
He would have
Hammer fist right to your fucking schnoz,
he
man.
would have got fucked up big style.
Yeah.
No, he's never fighting in a cage, man. That's not Fury would say anything. He'd say anything. He'd fucking say anything. He's a bullshit artist. He knows how to sell a fight. But all the shit that they've been going on recently, banning talk sport, doesn't want anyone to fucking say anything bad, and the haters and the British government never gave him a thank you, and this, that, and the third. He has to go through. Like, he talks so much, and I know most of the time 90% it's bullshit, but he talks so much. He's after putting people off him with his behavior, with his big dosser stick, with the fucking sign the contract before the deadline. He's after putting people off. He's after turning people against him, and now he was the king of the world, and now he's got a fucking black eye after fucking going life and death with an MMA guy in a crossover fight. And Usyk will be rubbing his hands. Now, I still think he beats. I still think a fully fit and fully focused Tyson Fury beats Oleksandr Usyk. However, look at the last 3 Tyson Fury performances and see are they good. I don't think so. Like, I don't think Dillian White he needed to be good to beat Dillian White, and I don't think he was impressive against Chisora. I thought he fucking carried him. And then last night he could do fuck all with Ngannou. He didn't get back into the fight the way I'd expected. He wasn't commanding it off the jab. He was landing on Ngannou and it was having no effect. No, it's all right landing on Wilder.
Stepping in square.
Yeah, but this is the thing.
He was saying his footwork was awful, Rob. Just awful.
He's too heavy. Number one. Now they said he looked good after a good camp, but he's too heavy at 270. He was talking about Sugar Hill saying that he should just weigh whatever he wants and come in and knock people out. But he wasn't putting a dent in Ngannou at all. So very unimpressive performance from a guy who's the lineal heavyweight champion of the world with a skill set that we've seen dazzle other heavyweights. To see him plodding and getting caught and fucking fighting to stay in the fight with a fella who's never had a pro boxing fight. Shit for boxing, shit for us as fans. It's farcical in terms of the event and what it was, but that's besides the point. Money talks. The fight happened. Disappoint. Like I can't. I haven't even got it in me to like have a rant about it because I couldn't give a fuck because this boxing has been so shit lately, especially the heavyweights. For the last 2 years, it's been terrible. Like, we had the 3 fights with Wilder, we had the 2 fights with Joshua and Usyk, but after that, waiting game. Even all the other heavyweights are waiting out now, like Andy Ruiz, Wilder, Volley. Nobody's fucking fighting anyone in the heavyweights. Like, Zhilei Zhang is the only one active, and Zhilei Zhang, based off last night, Zhilei Zhang be in that fight with Tyson Fury, in the fight for sure.
100%. It I don't know. Like you said, I don't know if maybe Fury won the battle, but ultimately Wilder won the war. Maybe the drinking and drugging got up to him a little bit.
No, certainly the
lifestyle.
The punishment that he took in 3 fights, mate. I mean, we'll never forget that right hand that Wilder landed on him. You see the actual force of the shot rippled in his back. Normal humans could not continue. You often wonder, would Fury even be able to take a shot like that again, But it's probably a bit of both. I think there's a bit of motivation. I think it's to do with maybe the age. But one thing is for certain, if he turns up like that against Usyk, there's going to be a few people raising eyebrows and that, because there were loads who were saying that that they didn't think Usyk had the size, the power to really much bother Fury. I think there'll be a few people, revising that statement over the next couple of weeks and that. And again, as I say, you're not good as your last fight, but that wasn't a good performance. And Usyk, with his activity, his better placement of shots, he sidesteps a Fury in that. I mean, I think it's a much tougher fight. And I keep saying to you guys, every time I think about Usyk against Fury, I think Fury against Cunningham. That's what I think. A guy who's constantly on the move, who's smaller, you know, and he can get in and out of shots, that type of thing. And you know, Fury he can get caught just standing in the, you know, squared up as you said, Matty, and gets caught by a shot over the top or down the middle, and it can catch him by surprise.
Yeah, I think Usyk. I don't know. I don't think Usyk is as active since he's gone up to heavyweight, where he doesn't have like the punch output that he had at cruiserweight, and I think it's going to be a cagey one. It's probably going to be a stinker, but anyway, we'll have to fucking look at that closer to the time. But Fury can't come in at 270. I don't think against Usyk and look good. I know that. I think he has to be. I think he has to be lighter. Like,
Yeah, and if there's anyone's having any sound issues in your Wood Sox 1311 said it here. YouTube Live, I've been playing up to date with the football podcast and other live stuff, mostly sound cutting out. So I was wondering, hey, my connection, I'm getting a little cut out on Andy. I don't know exactly, but might be on the YouTube end of things. But we shall see. So my apologies on that one. Danny, are we going too far and just thinking that the Usyk fight happens no matter what? I mean, that was a pretty dejected Tyson Fury last night after that fight. That wasn't the singing jolly happy Gypsy King. That was a sad man who got away with one.
Evening, Matty. Yeah. Before I get to that, can I just have my little say on that? So, no way was there a 12-week camp. If it was 12 weeks, he spent 12 weeks fucking about because he didn't look in good shape. And there was almost an air of arrogance about him. I go back. I was ringside for the Chisora fight, and he didn't box great then. I felt like it was almost like you say we spoke about at the time. It was giving his mate a bit of a payday. So that's, if you class this as him fighting, that's two he hasn't looked great in up to this point. One of the other things I kind of want to mention and maybe pick up on, and maybe see if anyone else thinks this as well. But I know you guys on the pod have spoken about kind of like the kind of crowds, the hangers on that, you know, certainly with AJ, you know, that he had at one point in time. The amount of people that he walked out into the ring with last night was unreal. There was about 20 followers. Like, does he need that many people? You know what I mean? It just, maybe that just shows maybe a lack of focus. I don't know. Like, it just, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem right to me.
I noticed that as well, mate. I mean, I don't know if it was the weigh-in or if it was after the fight. There was like a big gang of them in the ring getting pictures taken or whatever it was. And I noticed that as well.
Even goes to show, you know, they did that big photograph, didn't they, with all the kind of, you know, boxing kind of superstars from days gone by, and the majority of his mob were all at the front of that picture. And it's like, if you're the photographer trying to take a nice picture for a boxing magazine, you're like, can you lot fuck off, please, while I take this picture? Like it you know. And I haven't even mentioned his dad yet, but we don't even need to go there because we all know what goes on with him, and it's embarrassing.
The Poundland Hulk Hogan.
Exactly. So, yeah, he looked laboured last night. He looked like he didn't have a plan. I mean, yes, people say, yeah, he won the fight. But for the lineal heavyweight champion, the performance was nothing short of disgraceful, to be honest with you, against a debutant. Props to Ngannou. Make no mistake, he wasn't sensational, but for a first timer, I thought he was very composed. Whether it was the game plan or not, or whether it happened by accident to sit back and make Fury come onto him, it looked good from where I was sitting. You know, the output was little, but he didn't need to throw hundreds of punches. I mean, he's a big guy. You know, big guys like him are not going to throw hundreds of punches. You know, he just needed to sit back and make Fury come to him because, you know, he had nothing to lose. Fury had it all to lose, and he nearly lost it all last night. I thought that the knockdown punch was very good. I kind of vaguely resembles something that Wilder's thrown on him before, the back of the head, kind of that kind of clubbing shot, which obviously are not nice shots to take. Yeah, look, there's people calling for the WBC to remove his belt if he doesn't take this fight in December. And don't get me wrong, I'd love that, but it's not going to happen. While Fury holds that belt, the WC, and he's given the WBC money and a platform to kind of, you know, he's the WBC this, that, and the other. There's no way that they are taking that belt off of him.
Exactly, especially seeing as he says now he's retired from fighting in the UK. He's only going to fight in Saudi from now on. So what do you think is going to happen there? Like, you're going to fucking dance to his tune, aren't they?
Of course they are. They're just bowed down to it, and they have done for a while now. You know, like any other half decent sanctioning body would have said, "Well, hang on a minute." The next in line has been sitting there now theoretically for the last 2 years. You got to take it now, and obviously they've put no pressure on him, so that's not going to happen. But for boxing's sake, Usyk has to win now. Like it's and don't get me wrong, I want him to win. Like you take all of Tyson's credibility out the bag now because it's gone. Like it's absolutely gone. He has been farcical. All these fucking videos now and all that. It's come back to haunt him. I just think it was funny because when the Usyk Fury fight was first announced, some time ago. When was that? Was it meant to be August, wasn't it, or something like that? I can't remember now. But when it was first, they first kind of were talking about it, I was thinking to myself, well, it's got to be in Fury's favour. And then when they announced it this time for December, I'm thinking, well, probably a 50-50 now. And after seeing last night, I'm now thinking it's in Usyk's favour now. I'm thinking maybe 60-40 in Usyk's favour. And Andy made a great comparison there. Cunningham, Fury, smaller guy, footwork to die for, going to make it difficult, and it's going to be like if Ngannou can stand there and make Fury come onto him and try and put the pressure on, Usyk can very easily do very much the same, and Usyk's in and out work, some of the best in the game would be ideal for that, and he could nick rounds. It's that fight has got to happen in December. I'm sorry, Mr. Warren. You can't pull the wool over everyone else's eyes.
Fury
now
say they'd be breach of contract if he didn't take the fight.
That's what Usyk has been saying, and fair play. If he's breaching contract, then the WBC have to do something about it, but they won't do because obviously, like I say, they're deep in Fury's pockets now, so it doesn't matter. But like, if Usyk doesn't get that fight in December, and let's make it right. It's they shouldn't have taken this fight. Fury should have concentrated on boxing, not fucking this crossover stuff. Nobody wanted this. Well, not certainly I didn't anyway. Many people, fans of boxing, did not want to see this. They wanted to see Fury versus Usyk, and that was it. And yet we were made to see it last night, and it's come back to haunt him. And I'm sorry if he pulls out and says he can't do December because of injuries relating to this fight, then fucking strip him because I've had enough now. It's stop pissing around with the public. You've got your money off this. Give it to some people that actually want to fight for it instead of sitting there and pissing around and telling everyone that you should be given everything because of what you've done for boxing. You haven't done anything the last 2 years.
They're not going to strip him, man.
They won't. But
he's so arrogant about it as well because he knows they're not going to strip him because he said he'd sit on it for a year the last time and retire. This guy's had a fake retirement in between all these fights as well, by the way. A lot of people would be hoping that he had fucking retired after that.
Yeah, but any decent sanctioning body would say enough's enough now. But that's it. I just hope it happens in December. That's all we can wait for now. That's all we can wish for, that fight happens in December, and that is it.
Yeah, hopefully it does happen. I think I already saw something about them trying to push it to January or February. If they're doing that, my guess would be February. I don't know. It's all pretty ridiculous at the end of the day, especially considering the talent that we know that Tyson Fury had. Did he have the fight beaten out of him by Wilder? Did his lifestyle choices do it to him? Was he unmotivated, or did he just run into a guy who was reasonably capable?
That's the thing as well. A lot of speculation, and there's a lot of speculation recently in YouTube comments and other places on Twitter and that Fury's back on the gear, like that he's heavily drinking and that he's taking coke or whatever, and he has looked like at certain events and stuff, like he looked like he was fucking wired and that. So possibly he's not living the life or whatever. I don't know, but whatever the fucking excuse is, the bottom line is he stunk the fucking place out last night. Absolutely stunk it out. And scraped to a win against an MMA fighter.
I'll tell you what, Des joining the call here. Des, what really got to me of all the shit in this fight, believe it or not, was the lack of effort from Fury in that 10th round when the fight could have definitely been on the line. And I didn't see who got that 10th round. It was kind of a pick'em of shit. But he didn't. He just was befuddled like at the end of the fight, and he just had no will to do something amazing. It's so much less than I expect out of him.
Yeah, I mean, Fury's not a buzzsaw type fighter, is he? I mean, a good Fury is a really good Fury, but a bad Fury is a really bad version of Tyson Fury. Last night we saw a bad version of Tyson Fury. I go back to what I think you said, Matty, and maybe Rob picked up on it. There is a very strong possibility, if last night is to be believed, and if what we saw is to be believed, and it wasn't rigged and it wasn't fixed, if it was organic, that it might just be that the Wilder trilogy have taken it all out of Tyson. Because Nigel Benn was never the same after McClellan. Evander was never the same after Lennox. And DeGale was never the same after Badu Jack. And it could be that the Wilder trilogy, and if anyone's going to take it out of you, it's a big puncher like Wilder that can put you over like that. And he did put Tyson over. And he did smash him about a ring for a few rounds. Maybe we're just seeing a Tyson Fury that's peaked and he's on the come down now.
I think it's highly possible that his peak was probably the second Wilder fight. Well, do you think that was probably the best version of Fury we ever saw, Des?
We'll never know. I mean, he might have had more miles on the clock, but inactivity, COVID, Dillian White, Derek Chisora, he might have wasted that window of opportunity because a fighter's only got a certain amount of miles on the clock. A good Tyson Fury is the best of his generation. I'm certain of that. But the way Tyson Fury looks, the way he carries himself, a bad Tyson Fury is a really bad Tyson. It's really bad to watch. And we're always going to celebrate him when he does well. And we're always going to hit him over the head when he does wrong. And last night, let's be clear, if what we saw was to be believed, Tyson Fury was really bad last night. He stunk the place out.
Yeah, very disappointing considering especially what you consider they put behind that event. Liam Wynn hopping in there with 199 saying the fight was so bad it gave me grave man flu. As Liam posted a picture, he looks god-awful. I hope you're happy, Tyson, for making our friend Liam ill. Thank you, Liam, for passing along a little bit of love to the Asylum, though. We appreciate that. Joining us after a long absence, though, Ozzie Smith. First off, Oz, how was the cricket season?
The season was decent. Sadly, our first team succumbed to a second place finish on the last game of the season. But all in all, much improved. After that, I then ventured to the US and met up with the infamous Donald Trella and ate sushi with him in New York, which was an interesting experience, particularly when the first place we went to, we weren't allowed entry as Don was absolutely leathered. And the owner of the bar basically went, "This guy is not coming in." But aside from that, it was fantastic.
Oh man, come to Colorado next time. I might smoke a lot of pot, but I'm pretty coherent through it all, and they let me in every establishment. I'm generally well liked.
Mate, I'm a Raiders fan. I don't need to go to Denver at all, so that won't be happening. We'll just meet in Vegas instead.
Well, there you go. There you go. I think you just missed all the good stuff, didn't you? You're like kind of right in the middle.
Oh no, mate, we did. We started in Orlando, flew to Vegas, did the Raiders Steelers game in Vegas, and then flew over to New York. So it was some trip.
Did you have any Chinese on the plane, mate?
I didn't know.
I
did not have any chicken balls, pork balls, salt and pepper chicken, curry sauce, nothing like that. However, though, in America, I saw many people that put John Fisher. They made him look slim. So
yeah, we're fucking fat, aren't we?
Mate, the amount of people I saw getting around on little shop mobilities, no wonder. I mean, I've seen people. We went into a little pizza place, and one bloke ordered 2 liters of Coke for his drink. 2 liters. I mean, I'm sorry. No wonder. No wonder.
40% of them apparently, Maddie, are clinically obese now. The Yanks, 40%. It's a high number.
40%.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm 30 pounds overweight. Not much. I think when you look at it compared to most Americans, I could lose 30 though. And my fear when hopping on airplanes is always how obese are the people that are going to be sitting next to me on this flight, because that really decides your comfort level is the fatness of the people next to you on the airplane.
Well, I weighed in this morning at 200 pounds on the nose, and it's the lightest I've been in 20 years. 20 years. I've been that way
Good
since
job, Rob.
20 years ago. Holy shit.
I
I don't
am
know how to
sorry
fucking
to
do
hear
it.
that
I'm doing everything bad, but anyway.
Well, I am sorry to hear that about your leg amputation, but it's good that you're down to 2 bills. But anyway, Oz, you had great fun in America. That's good. But I bet you didn't have great fun watching Fury. That was a mind-boggling performance as I watched it on my phone on a stream for free.
It was a baffling display, to be honest. I mean, I thought during the week I saw him when he whipped his top off, and I thought, bloody hell, he looks big. As in, Tyson Fury's never a person who looks in fantastic condition ever. And that's absolutely fine because he's put in performances that show that you don't need to be ripped and shredded to put in a brilliant display. But I thought when he was on the I think they were squaring up and John Fury also got involved as well. I thought bloody hell, he looks big. And it says it all when I felt he was in better shape than when he boxed Seferi compared to when he boxed last night. And bear in mind, when he boxed Seferi, he was coming off a 3-year layoff, ballooned up to just short of 30 stone, completely out of shape, drank, ate, did drugs, pretty much everything you can name, and he was still in better condition then. And last night was just, he looked like a guy that claims to have a 12-week camp, but in that 12 weeks, he's pretty much just drank, ate, and not trained whatsoever. But even then, you would think that he would have too much for a guy that has never laced up a pair of gloves, never boxed, and never come anywhere close to realistically a boxing ring. And it was bizarre. That saying, I still believe that he won the fight last night. I had him by probably a couple of rounds. And it wasn't a brilliant display at all. He was awful. But at the same time, Francis Ngannou was a lot better than everybody expected. I don't think anybody last night predicted that it would turn out the way it was. But at the same time, you cannot reward somebody rounds just because they're doing better than expected. And for me, that whilst Tyson Fury was abysmal, he still did enough to pinch the fight, which is bizarre in saying that we're even discussing this topic. But if that's not a wake-up call that he ever needs from the fact that before the fight he's saying that I could have 15 pints to beat Anthony Joshua and 25 pints to beat Francis Ngannou, last night it was clearly evident that you can't, because at the same time, I wouldn't have argued if Tyson Fury had got beat last night at all. It wasn't a robbery. It was an incredibly close fight, and just because it's close doesn't mean it's a robbery. We've seen robberies, and I put out a tweet before that Sven Otka, Robin Reed, that's a robbery. Evander Holyfield, when he boxed Lennox Lewis, that's a robbery. Timothy Bradley, Manny Pacquiao won. That's a robbery.
Take last that night, back.
Which one?
Pacquiao Bradley. I would argue that till the end of fucking time. But anyways.
The first one?
What's
no way. The first fight?
Yeah, I scored it a draw. I legitimately scored it a draw. I can't believe we're taking this detour. And then there was a really good video done a few weeks after the fight, and I tried to find it. I haven't been able to find it for a while. But they took some really good slow-mos of some of the shots that they were saying that Pacquiao landed with HBO, and I didn't think he landed them. In the first round, the last 20 seconds, they said he landed 3 lefts. Bradley actually rolled all of them. So if you take those 3 lefts out of the equation, Bradley won the round. I thought it was, if the first half of the fight was 4-2 Pacquiao, the second half of the fight was 4-2 Bradley.
But fair enough. Like you've given an explanation there, and we can go on and on, and we're detouring. But for
this
me,
wasn't the robbery. I agree with you. I thought it was that knockdown could have decided it for Ngannou, or Fury could have been just over the hill on it.
Exactly that. But I think the big point is that we have
100%
got
with you.
ultimately, we have got a WBC world champion here that ultimately has not been active, and again has proven that fighters cannot just box once a year at best. But it was a weird performance in a sense of that when he got tagged, it was like he didn't know. It's like a person who hadn't been hit before. He didn't really know what to do, and I think, but ultimately early on when he leaned on Ngannou, I think that's where he thought he'd do it. He'd gas him out, he'd bully him in that way. And when Ngannou basically bullied him and pushed him off, Tyson Fury looked like a guy who he didn't really know what to do. And bear in mind, he's a big bloke and he's had it all his own way. Of course, he's been dropped, and what I won't look into, yes, he's been dropped. I'm not bothered about that because he got up and he was absolutely fine. Realistically, he wasn't. When he got dropped by Deontay Wilder, he was genuinely hurt. Then that was just it was not a flash knockdown, but as good as he was okay. And I'm not bothered about anybody who you can say he's chinny. No, chinny is somebody who gets a dig on the chin and doesn't get back up. One thing Tyson Fury does do is he's got back up every time. But it was the manner of the performance in a sense of he's either just dicked around and done nothing, or Father Time has finally caught up on him, and everything that he's done, he's completely shot to bits. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do. It's no shock whatsoever that Frank Warren has come out immediately after the fight and going, he needs to protect him from himself, and that fight's not going ahead against Oleksandr Usyk just before Christmas. I think if Tyson Fury had banged him out inside a round or two, there's absolutely no question that fight would have gone ahead. But now it's all about he's had a difficult 12-week camp. He's been away from his family, this and that. For me, it's a fight from where if he'd have boxed, say, whoever, a Chaz Witherspoon, a Marius Wack, and he puts in a lackluster performance and binks a decision that you can argue it wasn't necessarily deserved, people would just be like, he's had an off night, and that is absolutely fine. That happens in competitive sport, and not everybody can perform on the best of nights. But I think it's the fact that who it was against and all the talk that he gave makes it as good as unacceptable. And it was just bizarre, unpredictable, and if anything, that despite that he got the win, it's done more damage to his career than anything else. No one cares about him getting dropped by Nevin Pajcik a long time ago and Steve Cunningham and things like that. But when you are dropped, bullied, cut, and arguably got beat by somebody who has never boxed a professional fight in their life, and we're not talking about a Lomachenko, by the way, who's been a fantastic amateur and has turned over and decided to box, one of the best in the world at that time. We're not talking about somebody like that. We're talking about a guy that is solely MMA, has never boxed in his life, has ultimately learned on the job in the last, 4 months, and ultimately looked like he could go, cause any heavyweight sort of problems. Still think people are saying Deontay Wilder, get him in with him next. Deontay Wilder and knock Ngannou into next week. But the fact is that performance, you can only judge him off that. And everybody's looking at it and thinking, what is going on? And it's a performance that Tyson Fury can't look back at and think, I'm happy. And all this talk of a fighting man and I'm a warrior, it goes out the window when you turn in something like that last night.
Ozzy, are we holding Tyson Fury to an unrealistic standard? Because you said there that Wilder 2 is pretty much the benchmark of where we think Tyson Fury should be. But he's never done anything like that before that fight, and he's not done nothing like it since. So we hold Tyson Fury to an unrealistic benchmark? Was Wilder 2 Tyson Fury's Lloyd Hannigan, Don Curry moment? Was it something he's achieved, but will never get close to it again?
No, for me, I thought his performance against Vladimir Klitschko was more impressive because pretty much aside from the odd person, not many people gave Tyson Fury a go against Vladimir Klitschko at all. It was all talk, it was all hype, and it was ultimately what we know Tyson Fury for. he talks the talk. And prior to that, he couldn't walk the walk. And we saw him. He got dropped off Steve Cunningham. He had his difficult moments, but then he went over to Germany and he boxed the fight of his life. And whilst the cards were close for me, he walked that fight and he was a level above. But I understand that in a sense of particularly after and even the first Wilder fight, I thought he won that fight as well. And that's the bizarre thing from when he was fat as a pig but within 3 fights, he's boxing for the world title. And for me, beat Deontay Wilder and got up off a thunderous punch. And we all thought he was gone, got up, and then arguably won the round the way he finished.
Mm.
And I understand about holding him to high standards, but when he talks about being the best of the generation and the best heavyweight in the world at this time, then quite rightly, fans should hold him to account and should hold him to a high standard. And for me last night, that no matter what level you are, I think, to be fair, that I thought Ngannou, he looked okay, actually. For most MMA fights, they square up in the front on and they can easily get digged. I thought Ngannou actually...
I was impressed with Ngannou's hands and feet. I didn't think I didn't think his shape would be that good. Consistent for 10 rounds, you're right.
Yeah, and everybody was saying before that people like Johnny Fisher would bang him out and stuff like that. Well, actually, looking at it, maybe not. And you think that... yeah. But maybe Big John Fisher would bang him out, and that's for you smothering more than anything else. But actually, Ngannou might well win ultimately. If you were to put him in for example, on equivalent, would he be an English champion now? Yeah, he probably would actually after what we saw last night.
But pro sport is a crazy bag. So we see David Adelaide last night. Now he's been an international amateur. He's been a national ABA champion. He's been all around the world with GB, and he can't win a British title. And Ngannou hasn't had an amateur bout, never been a boxer, and he goes and takes the lineal champion to a split, and he has to get off the floor to stay with him. So, like we've seen this with footballers, haven't we? They don't stop scoring goals, and they get in the first team, they can't get a kick. We've seen it with sprinters. They're European, they're best in Europe, best in the world. They turn 21, they just can't get under 10. Pro sport's a mixed bag, so. I wasn't sure if what I was seeing last night was true. I thought it might be rigged, it might be fixed. I've watched it again today, and I've listened to a lot of conversations, and we're having one now. And if it was organic, and if it was to be believed, and I've got no reason to believe it isn't true, then that's just a sort of mixed bag that pro sports can throw up.
Yeah.
Someone like Ngannou, who's a fighting man, if you can teach him the very basics, he'll get through it.
The big the obvious sign of decline for me last night was the legs, Fury's legs, and I think it has a lot to do with the up and down with the weight. We saw that with Roy Jones years ago with the 20 pounds of muscle, and when he took it off, the legs weren't the same again. Now I know Fury doesn't have to make weight specifically, but I think lads are right. He has an optimum fighting weight, and I don't think it's 270 or 290 or whatever the fuck.
He was 275 pounds when he weighed in, and that was with clothes on. But again, when he boxed Seferi, he was a similar weight and weighed in with clothes, I think. But even then, he was incredibly heavy. But you could argue against Seferi. You could understand that they were doing it the right way.
He was dropping the like, and you know that's some of the shit that he's done. Like we're not. Someone said in the chat, like, say it to Fury's face. It does like. Shut the fuck up with that shit. Like, shut up with that shit. We praised Fury for years on the pod when nobody was giving him praise.
Oh, absolutely,
We've always given him credit where credit's due, but we're going to call it as we see it. It's not we're not doctors because Tyson Fury put in a bad performance. You know what I mean? And if he came on the fucking pod, we would tell him the same as we tell any fighter or any fucking promoter. So give me a break with that shit. Like,
all I say is listen back to the podcast when he boxed Otto Wallin. Not one of us praised him for that performance whatsoever. We all laid into him, and quite right. And just because you're a big name and you're a big fighter, it doesn't mean you're immune to criticism. And last night there is absolutely no way off that performance I can come on this podcast and anybody can and say and defend Tyson Fury whatsoever. We're not. This is what I mean. This is what I said before, that it's not as if he boxed like a Marius Wack or an old school type of an old guy, Andre Rudenko, whoever. Somebody who basically was put in there. He should comfortably win over 10 rounds, non-title fight, knock him out, and that's that. We're talking about a guy that has made his name in mixed martial arts, the UFC. He's never had a professional fight, and ultimately, prior to last night, not one person aside from I think Mike Tyson and a couple of people who were in the Ngannou camp gave him a chance. And this is what we say: Tyson Fury is a guy that has said constantly, and even before the fight recently, was saying that he could basically be on the lash all week and still beat these guys. Well, ultimately not. Ultimately not. And I am a massive Tyson Fury fan, and I will still go on record and say that I still believe he beats Anthony Joshua. I still believe he beats Oleksandr Usyk, and he's already beaten Deontay Wilder. Now, it might seem bizarre that I think that, but I genuinely believe last night that Tyson Fury did absolutely nothing when it comes to training. And I think if he ever needs a wake-up call, it's that. And I still think that while styles make fights, Fury is still an incredibly difficult bloke to beat. And if Ngannou, it wasn't a walk in the park for Ngannou, by the way. It's not a clear robbery. It was still close. So it's not as if, he's completely outboxed him and it should have been a, 99-91 sort of scorecard. It's not that. And I'm not giving any credit in terms of that whatsoever to Fury either. But I'll still go on record and believe that Fury is the best heavyweight in the world. Do I think he's in optimum condition? No. But I understand why they're not taking the fight in December as well. But that saying, if he decides to ultimately not take it seriously, I don't think Usyk will knock him out. I just don't believe he's got that power to do that. But I think he'll walk the fight. But that saying, I think Billy Joe, bizarrely, I never ever thought I'd agree with Billy Joe Saunders because he's another one who is a complete gobshite when he wants to be. But he said Tyson Fury has got too many yes men in his camp, and his dad is the biggest one of lot. John Fury is a problem. Tommy Fury is not a good fighter. He's not a good boxer. He's a novice. But when he was with a proper trainer, you could see him developing, and that's fine. Just because of his name, if you called him Tommy Johnson and he was 6-0, you won't be reviewing him the way he is. But he was getting better. As soon as John Fury stuck his nose in and got back involved, Tommy Fury has gone backwards. He looks appalling now. And the same again. His dad, every time he's on the scene, problems happen constantly. And the best thing that can happen to Tyson Fury is he boxes in America permanently. Why is that? Because his dad can't be there. He is a problem. He makes it all about him constantly. You would think it's the John Fury show. You see him again when he KSI, Tommy Fury, he's headbutting bloody plastic. He's whipping his top off like Stavros Flatley in the square off against Francis Ngannou. The bloke needs to stop living what he wanted to be, his boxing career, through his family. That's what he needs to do. He needs to jack it in and just watch from the sideline because he has a massive impact because of the gypsy life and the respect that they got from the parents, but he just needs to bin it off completely. And until Tyson Fury, I think, bins everybody off, and I saw people talking about, you need to go back to Ben Davidson. No, I disagree with that. Sugar Hill's perfect for him. It works. But let Sugar Hill do what Sugar Hill does. Don't allow outside influences. And Fury should stream everything back going forward. And I genuinely believe he'll beat Oleksandr Usyk. And I think he could stop him as well. But there's a long way to go. Whether the fight will happen, I'm not sure. But it was a big wake-up call, and Fury's got to strip a lot of things back. And you saw him in the interview after the fight last night, and he looked a beaten up and broken man. Something I never thought I'd say.
You did.
It's a funny division, though, isn't it? There's an asterisk over all of them. Like we've got an asterisk over Joyce, we've got an asterisk over Fury. There's one over AJ. There's one over Wilder. It's a funny heavyweight division, isn't it?
Mate, to be honest,
that's great about the heavyweight division.
Yeah.
It's unpredictable. The big man game is a different game.
No, it is definitely. And I mean, even like Zile Zhang, who has gone and blitzed Joe Joyce twice, there's still an asterisk over him in a sense of, the controversial win that he had as well. And you kind of forget about that now because the way he went and demolished Joe Joyce. You are right in terms of the big man game that anybody can beat anybody. And if you get hit by somebody who's 18, 19 stone, you're going down if you take it flush. And if you're not, you're going to be buzzed by it. And there's other contenders there. Joseph Parker will be looking at it and thinking, can he come back and win a world title? There's another guy we've not mentioned yet, Martin Bacoli, who again has bloody ballooned up, by the way. But I don't think Carlos Takam is the fighter he was. But nobody has done to what Bacoli did to Carlos Takam. And it was quite impressive, actually. And I know Billy Nelson's saying that you're not moving your feet quick enough, but bloody hell, the guy's like 300 pounds. What do you expect? He can't be that.
That was impressive. That was impressive.
But it was,
I didn't see that fight. I didn't see that fight because I was thinking, fuck, 300-pound Bacoli. He had to be massive.
Honestly, I thought, after the weigh-in, I thought this could be a horrendous fight from where Takam actually could potentially pinch a win. In a sense of, I thought Bacoli's he's fat, he's overweight, and he'll gas. But I've got to say, it was impressive. It was impressive the way he dealt with Takam, and he battered him, absolutely battered him. And Bacoli will be a problem. The way he looked last night, I forget when he boxed the Russian guy, Sergey Kuzmin. It was a dire performance. He looks a lot better for that, and he certainly looks developed. But it's a division that after last night, I still believe Tyson Fury's the best, but maybe not by a long way anymore. And it's not what it was at all. And there's no standout wins. And just to finish from me, that I'm seeing a lot of talk about from where Fury's not got these wins and he's not defended his belt enough times, etc. I'm not going to judge Tyson Fury if he defends his belt against people like Eric Molina, Charles Martin, and whatever no mark that they put in as a mandatory and stuff like that. I'm not bothered. That doesn't make Fury any better whatsoever. And it's an argument I saw from where, well, Joshua's beating this guy and he beat this guy. Well, Anthony Joshua beat Charles Martin for a world title, and Charles Martin won that belt because the Polish bloke dislocated his kneecap or something like that. It was a piss take. It was an absolute gimme. And then he beat Vladimir Klitschko, who'd been sat on a couch for 18 months. So if we want to strip it down, we can pick holes in everybody's resume. Do I give Anthony Joshua credit for beating Eric Molina? Absolutely not. No, whatsoever. Like, we don't just give people credit because they've defended the belt, 6 or 7 times. Look who Kell Brook defended his IBF belt against. They were Jojo Dan and Kevin Bizier, 2 of the worst mandatories I've ever seen.
Frankie Gavin.
Yeah, Frankie. Look at them. 3 fighters ultimately. Gavin on paper is the best out of the lot, but again, hadn't won above a European. I don't think he won a European title. He got knocked out. He got beat off Leonard Bundu. I remember at Wolverhampton Arena. So if we're just judging off defences, yeah, Kell Brook defended his belt 3 times against 3, ultimately 2 no marks, and Frankie Gavin, who won a British title. That's it. Fantastic amateur, but nothing else. So I'm not going to judge Fury off of the fact that, oh, he should have beaten, he should have defended his belt more times. But what I will judge him off is that I think his 3 wins against Wilder are very good. Well, sorry, 2 and the draw. And it's easy to say, oh, well, he's only beaten Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder's a guy that's been ducked several times, and I think he will go. I think he'll box Anthony Joshua, and I think he'll knock him out. And Wilder's stock will go even higher than it actually is. But what Tyson Fury does need to do now is he needs to box Oleksandr Usyk, and I think that's the only way that if he boxes Usyk next, no one will give a toss what he did against Francis Ngannou. No one will care, apart from a few MMA fans. No one will be bothered that Francis Ngannou doesn't get an immediate rematch. If Tyson Fury goes into his next fight, whenever it is, and boxes Oleksandr Usyk and wins, I will not look back and I'll think, yeah, he did have an off night against that, but at the same time, he rebounded, went in against a guy, the only other champion in the division, and he beat him. For me, that's good enough. Now, if he doesn't do that and decides to have a couple of other fights, that's when we can really start to scrutinise him and say, actually, this fighting man is non-existent and you don't want to box him. But again, only time will tell.
I'd like to thank Chris Butler for tossing a $1.99 in there, or a £1.99, as we might say. He is always supportive, and we appreciate that. It was an interesting event full of fat guys, that's for sure, on there. Also had Fabio Wardley stopping David Adelaide in the 7th round. Adelaide didn't appreciate it, kind of went after the referee at the end. Joseph Parker finally deciding he wanted to knock somebody out, landed a smoking uppercut on Simone Keane, who's you can't really rate much of that victory. The aforementioned Martin Bacoli, all 300 freaking pounds of him, taking out Carlos Takam. Then you had Makhmudov smacking around Junior Anthony Wright for about a minute before that was called off. It was, and then Itoma also getting the stoppage on there. It was an interesting event. I didn't get to see everything that was on there, but I'll tell you what, Des, I kind of have this curiosity of seeing. I'd like to see Bacoli against Gerald Miller. I want to see 600 pounds of pure fucking beef battling it out. Are you with me?
Of course, yeah. We all like Bacoli because he's been the guy on the outside for so long, isn't he? And he's like Mickey Duff said, he's like the chairman of the Who Needs Him club. And he's not ever been aligned with a major promoter. He's not been a flagship fighter for a major network. So he's kind of been the guy that's done his work solidly and quietly on the outside. But I think he done a really good job on Takam. As he said, that's impressive what he done on Takam, because we know Takam's a sparring partner now, but it's still impressive what he done. The job he done on Yoka, I thought I was really impressed with that. And from what I've seen, who was the guy that we see Bacoli fighting in Saudi a couple of months back, or maybe a year ago? Can you recall who it was? Was it?
I'm struggling for that.
He was on the undercard anyway. But my point is, I like what I'm seeing with Bacoli, but you have to ask, what world champion is going to want to get in the ring with Martin Bacoli, and what promoters want to put their fighter in the ring with Martin Bacoli? So, who was the guy you asked if you'd like to see him fight? Did you say Gerald Miller?
Yes, sir.
Put him in he called Makhmudov, no? Would you not put him in with him next?
No, I don't like that fight for either of them. I think Makhmudov's got a lot to learn. I think Makhmudov's a little bit raw. But I know where you're going with this, and I can see it. It makes sense. But if we're trying to get Bacoli into that mix,
Wallen.
Wallen's a good fight. I like that one. Yeah, Wallen's a good fight. Or Zhang's a good fight for him.
Joseph Parker.
Yeah. Hrgovic. We
yeah, that's the level. I like that.
We need to get something going on with these.
That level just below the world champions. I think Bacoli belongs there.
Bacoli just needs a name, right? That's all he needs. He needs a name on his list.
He does.
I mean, Zhang's a name, but at this point as well. But he's a dangerous one.
No,
Isn't he?
Zhang's too dangerous. You can't take that.
I think Bacoli's dangerous.
You're going to take that opportunity if you get the Zhang fight. If you go for Zhang, he's a world champion.
You got to take that.
Or he's interim champion. Sorry,
yeah.
it would be a mandatory.
I don't think he doesn't want to be 300 pounds going in against Zhang, though. That would be my advice to him.
No, I have to assume that was a calculated. That was some sort of calculated. They've done that that was by design. You can't just put on that sort of weight by accident. They've obviously worked for that. They might be experimenting because they must. I think Bacoli and Takam know each other pretty well. They've been in gyms together. They've been on the circuit together. So I can only assume Bacoli is experimenting with his weight, and that's why he done that last night. That's not to stay. That weight that surely can't stay.
Yeah,
he was 20 pounds higher than his previous high weight, I think.
Just going to check actually, see what his high's been. Let's see what
I thought I might have seen he was a 285 in there somewhere at some point. But you got to remember, he was 250 pounds only like 2-3 years ago. So it's not necessarily the size; it's how much he's put on in a space of time.
Well, the thing is, he's been getting bigger over the last 2-3 years. 251 in 2020, and then he's gone up to 282, 275, 280, now 299.
A gentleman by the name of London says, all these on this chat and in live stream talk absolutely crap. Any Fury, even Tommy, would smash you to bits. John would destroy your lives. Go try pull someone else down. He on way. better levels than you.
Go on, fuck off.
Is
Go
that
on,
Isaac?
fuck off.
That's Isaac Low. That's Isaac Low there. You've got to be.
I'll tell you what.
Isaac Low. Isaac.
We're putting him right onto London now. London can come on and discuss his points now. If we're too much to if we won't say it to the Fury's face, then London can come and say it to us live on air now. Let him join. Let him say his point, and let's discuss it. Rather than just talk in the chat, let him jump on the call now and let's discuss it.
And we're not bashing boxers here. We're not stripping people down. We're lifting people, if anything. We're talking about a subject that's out there in the public domain. We watch guys box every week. We're informed. We're knowledgeable. We're entitled to have an opinion.
He didn't fight well. What do you want from us? When he beat the shit out of Wilder, we were singing his praises. When you go back and listen to him, all you have to do is type in the subject into YouTube. You can go back and listen to his praise and Fury. But he's not going to get praise off us for fucking looking like shit against an MMA fighter making his debut. Get a life for yourself. Fuck's sake.
Yeah.
And Matty,
yeah.
Going back to your question, I think we're all excited and a little bit interested in Bacoli because we know a lot about him, but we don't know enough about him. So Bacoli against any of that group, just under the world champions, whether it's Parker, Zhang, Joyce, Huey, AJ, Bacoli against any of them is a really exciting fight for your boxing fan.
They're not taking it though, are they? And this is what I said before, in a sense of the game has been ruined by promoters, money, and broadcasters. In a sense of gone are the days of have gloves, will travel. It's all about business decisions. It's all about broadcasters. It's all about, he's not a known name, so we're not going to box him, and we'll go a different route. It's all about that. And sadly for Martin Bacoli is that whilst he's got bags of talent, and again, Billy, and I'll give it to Billy Nelson, he's banged the drum for years about Bacoli, and he had to eat it when, by the way, Bacoli jacked it against Michael Hunter. You know, he had to eat that, but it was one of those that he basically he's come back, he's looked good.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he has rebuilt, and what he'll have to do now is the only way he's going to do it is by getting himself into some sort of mandatory position from where somebody has got no choice but to box him. I'm pretty sure Golovkin was like that years ago. I remember when Eddie Hearn was looking for an opportunity for, I think it was Darren Barker, looking for a world title opportunity, and pretty much Golovkin was willing to come over and box for nothing. Pretty much, you know, a few tickets here and a few quid, and they basically jacked him when we're not boxing this guy. There's absolutely no point. And that's the problem with Bacoli, that he's a massive risk for absolutely no reward whatsoever. And that's what I mean about gone are the days when we're actually I'll box him. And that's what Hunter did. Hunter came over here, boxed him and beat him. And now no one's going to do that. And we've seen it before and we'll see it again. And until something changes in the sport, then it's always going to be. And that's why I believe when you mentioned about David Adelaide before that, David Adelaide's got the beating of Fabio Wardley. The fundamentals are there. And at times I thought in the fight that he actually showed that he can outbox Fabio Wardley. But the big thing is that look at the way he was matched coming up. It's horrendous. And we've always said that Frank Warren used to be the master of matching people at the right time. But gone are the days of that now, because you do not get the blessing off the broadcaster. They want quick, instant results with a big name. And Adelaide has boxed nobodies, banged them out, apart from Kamil Sokolowski, who he got beat off, in my opinion. And then he's talked his way into this mandatory opportunity. And when the going got tough, he got banged out.
And Ozzy, you hit the nail. You touched on something there. You hit the nail on the head. When Adelaide turned over, he would have had a bit of signing on money. He would have had a bit of upfront. He'd have had a good purse per round. He'd have been told you're going to get out at least 4 times this year. Yeah. They'd have had a pathway for 2 or 3 years for him to a British title. Yeah. So that's the investment. So the promoters and the network would have sat down and said, we've got to guide this kid through stormy waters. We've got to get him through a minefield. Now, the opposite to that is Fabio Wardley, who had no amateurs, who had a few white collars, and he'd have had no money up front. And the promoter would have said, I'm not going to waste my time with this kid unless I know a bit about him. So if you look at the way Wardley's been matched, he's been matched really sternly, like rigidly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's had to come through it. And look at the the result when you get there. He's a better fighter for it.
I just got to give props to Wardley while we're talking about him, because I fancied him in that fight last night, and he backed it up. He really backed it up. You know, he's shown a very good chin throughout his fight so far. He showed some grit, and he pulled through it last night, and I thought he was brilliant.
But lads, do you think this is the problem? We're talking about finance and investment, and I'll ask you all about this. When you say like a Joe Parker signs with boxing, I don't know if he's still with boxing, but let's just take that as an example. Joe Parker signs with boxer. He sits down at the table and says, "I've been all around the world. I'm a former world champion. I've done big numbers previously. I want a 5-fight deal and this much money guaranteed." They have to match him slowly. They have to match him soft. You can't give Parker to Bacoli because Bacoli could turn him over. And then where do you go with your investment?
Exactly that, and that is the problem. And I've nothing against that. For example, like what they do with Moses Atoma, absolutely no issue with that. The guy, he's a kid basically. I mean, you look at him, he doesn't look it, but he is a baby when it comes to boxing, and I have no problem with them taking whatever 10, 12 fights or something like that. Get him active, boxing 5-6 times a year, do it for 2 years running, and develop him slowly. But sadly,
especially after what happened to his brother.
I absolutely that 100%, because look at what happened to Carol Atomy. He got banged out off. It's like he didn't know what to do. He kept getting jabbed. He kept getting banged, like peppered, and he just didn't know what to do. He couldn't move his head basically. So I'm nothing against developing a prospect, and I think we said it a while ago about Conor Benn. But what you don't want is throw it down the fans' feet and stuff like that. You don't want that. You don't want it down the throats all the time. Box them off TV. Go and get 3 or 4 fights just in the dark, essentially. We don't need to see these fighters every time. Then bring them back, and then what you do is get them on telly, let them blitz somebody, and then everybody goes, bloody hell. Joe Bloggs has developed in the last 12 months. He's gone from looking horrendous to unbelievable in 12 months. He looks great, but you don't get that anymore. And again, like I say with Adelaide, he wasn't just this novice amateur. He was a proper. He's got the background and everything. And for me, he's just been matched horrendously. And we've seen it with others as well. That gone are the days, and everybody knows who listens to this podcast. I'm a big believer of the traditional route, that is area level, English level, Commonwealth, British, European, continental, world title. You go through that route, you will regularly fail. And even if you come unstuck, you can still bounce back. I remember Anthony Croller getting beat off Jordan Vasilev. Croller went on to win a world title. That don't mean Jordan Vasilev can go and win a world title whatsoever. But you will come unstuck at times, potentially in your career, but you can bounce back from it. But when you are rushed through a level to appease promoters and to appease broadcasters, sometimes it is harder to bounce back because you have not got that experience. The last person I can remember doing it recently is someone like Josh Warrington or Billy Joe Saunders. And look what level they got to before coming unstuck.
I agree with all that, but sadly, with Atoma and Adelaide and Wardley and to Daniel Dubois to a degree as well, is that age of their opponents is not on their side. If that makes sense, there's not an absolute blistering list of heavyweights coming up that they can, almost learn off. To me now, like for someone like Atoma, like he needs to face someone, maybe even a name coming up in his next kind of 5 fights. Otherwise, they're all just going to disappear. Like there's going to be no one with any kind of talent at all. And he's just going to be stuck there, just potentially having round robins with the people that are there in and around him, which we've seen to this point, and no great shakes at all.
Yeah, I understand that. And about that was the beauty about Joe Joyce, is when he turned over, of course, Joyce had this. We all knew Joyce was better than when he turned over. He ultimately could have boxed for it. But look who they matched him with in his debut, Ian Lewison. Ian Lewison, someone like that would be perfect for like Atoma. And when they matched Dubois, I liked the way they were bringing Dubois through. Then Warren just went this rogue route of boxing, like these unknown Ghanaians who were Ebenezer Tetes, who were doing spins in the ring in previous fights. And what was the Japanese guy? Kayatoro Fujimoto, people like that.
Yeah, that
Utter
coincided
trash.
though, was he? That coincided with Warren going from Box Nation to BT, and you
Yeah.
could have guaranteed he sat down in office with heads of networks and said, "I've got this 21-year-old who's going to be the next world champion," and they've matched him accordingly. Now they've matched him soft because they can't burst that bubble now. So I agree. When he was a
it's the
Box
same with
Nation,
Ultra as well.
you saw a better version of Dubois.
It's the
But
same
what
with
did they do though? I was going to say they lobbed him in though completely. I think they put him in with Joyce because I think they thought he beat Joe Joyce as well. By the way,
They did.
And I by the way, I was on the Dubois hype train and thought he beat Joe Joyce as well. But then it was that fight that summed it up. That you thought if you'd have had 2 or 3 more fights from where you could have developed and learned, you could have beaten Joe Joyce in that fight. But he didn't, and he went in off the back of that, beating Fujimoto, who was trash and rubbish. You know, just absolute nothing. He won't win an area title, that Fujimoto, and that is what happens to guys that aren't matched properly. I always said it about mate of mine, Jack Catterall, that Warren did the same. That Jack, I mean, we've all seen it. When he went into the Taylor fight, I was one of the only people that gave him a real chance against Josh Taylor, and that might have been blind biasness and anything else. But I'd seen what he can do and the fighter he was. But I still said, though, prior to that fight, that I would have liked him to have had 2 or 3 more legit tests just to get that gut check and know that he can compete at that level. Sometimes you can show it and you get that, but 9 times out of 10 you will fall short, and we've seen it far too often that guys do fall short every time because, and this is what I relay back to my original point, that promoters and broadcasters are ruining the sport. Yes, they give people opportunity to earn big money, but at the same time as well, it's like raising a lamb for slaughter. They will just throw you in at the depths, and if you're not good enough, you get beat and you get potted, and you've got to really work your way back up. Sometimes going on to the small shows and earning nothing.
You end up with a very odd-looking record at that point in time when you have a guy in there who's 8-42, and you fought him in your 20th fight. But thus is the way of the Brits. Damned if I understand it. But anyhow, that was a funky card. Again, apparently there's some tech issues depending on nation on YouTube, it seems. That was a crazy event, though. They went from one place to another for the main event, and then the ring just comes up, and yeah, it was pretty insane. You got to say they threw a shit ton of money into making that all happen. So I mean, if you're looking for just a grandiose event, look no further than Saudi Arabia. That was pretty freaking insane. But anyways, we need to move along, as that has been more than an hour spent on that event. Let us go real quick. I don't know if anybody saw this. If I just touch on it myself, I will do so. We had a fight on Friday, headlined by Amanda Serrano, continuing her history-making career as she becomes the first female fighter to defend 3 of her 4 major titles in a 12 round 3-minute fight, blanking Daniela Ramos, almost stopping her at a couple of points in the fight, including the last round. Serrano throwing almost 1,000 punches in the fight. She really did an incredible job, and she is just continuing what has been a tremendous Hall of Fame career, and looking forward to see what might happen next and seeing if she might change the trend in boxing, because at that level makes perfect sense to go 12 threes. Also on that card, you had Antonio Vargas taking down former champion Hernan Marquez by unanimous decision. Damian Lescaio, who I've seen a few times, getting into a rougher fight than expected against 7-3 Ray Barlow, who was definitely there to fight. That was a pretty decent one on there if you get a chance to see that. One I thought was pretty good. You had Demazion Van Hooter against Nafis an Ass. So Van Hooter against an ass. on the Serrano card, which I found to be thoroughly entertaining because I'm like a 9-year-old. But anyway, I digress. Gonna hop on over to DAZN card last night in the States, which had the best fight of the weekend. And on there, Shaquie Foster stopping Eduardo Rocky Hernandez with less than a minute to go in the 12th and final round of their 130-pound title clash at where Hernandez looked like at many points in time he might be able to get Foster out of there. Foster hung on, including through an 11th round that will surely go down on the short list for round of the year. But man, that 12th round, Foster came out firing, landing hard shots. Hernandez going down twice. Referee Hector Afu having no choice but to stop the fight, even though he seemed to be leaning a bit towards Hernandez, if I must say. And the cards, god awful. One card was in favor of Foster. One card was a shutout for Hernandez. And one, he was down 107, 102. He needed the knockout. Andy, crazy fight. Enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, we were talking about it last week. Actually, I think we were slightly, well, I was slightly favouring maybe Hernandez turning the tide and winning by knockout. But it's the other way around about, actually. And just by the way, Foster needed that knockout badly, didn't he? Because the WBC open scoring was in effect, had it 76-76 at one point, 80-72 Hernandez. Now, just looking at the final scorecards, that same judge basically had it a shutout to round 12. He had Hernandez up 1-1-0 to 99. I cannot believe that. That was a fight where you actually had to admire some of Foster's work, because his footwork, his punch placement was really good. Didn't really waste a lot of shots. And then obviously turned the tide, big style as you mentioned. 11th round, definitely shortlist for fight round of the year, definitely. Hernandez for me definitely. Well, answered the question we were asking last week. What's his gas tank going to be like after 6 and 7 rounds? I think after about the 8th and 9th, we kind of got that question. He just wasn't the same puncher. You could visibly see his tiredness on him. And I just think Foster was, at that point he started to get on the front foot a little bit more. But at the same time, I really liked his maturity in the ring. He was happy to take the half steps back or a full step back to try and get some punching range. He would put the jab out there, try and get a wee range finder, drop the right hand. He would put in body shots and that as well on the inside. Okay, a wee bit of holding, but that is a fight at the end of the day. The referee's got to get a grip on that. And to be honest, I think the referee probably wanted to see a bit of damage done in the ring, possibly, because I think he could have stopped that fight rather than letting Hernandez kind of like, especially kind of for the last beatdown, at least he could have stopped in there. But good, it was a decent fight, I felt. I really liked Foster's work in that as well. He's a type of fight you actually got to appreciate his skills, actually. Not an easy fighter to fight. I did think
it's going to take a good fighter to beat him, innit?
Yeah. I just felt the reason why I went with Hernandez is because he's quick early, he's got power early doors. I just wonder if he could maybe get on top of Foster. He tried to, but Foster pretty much, in my opinion anyway, started negating him a little bit. Because I says his footwork was tremendous. It was a half step here, a full step there, maybe even leaping back from time to time in that as well, just taking him by himself a few more meters or whatever. But yeah, I was really impressed by him again. Actually, that's about the last 3 fights of his I've seen, and he continues to improve, because that's him on the road there again. Away territory. Does the business, and what a way to do it actually as well. What was it? 25 seconds left, 30 seconds left, and he fucking needed it. Big style.
Dan, you caught that fight too. I just could not believe that 11th round, man. I was on my feet staring at my laptop because DAZN still sucks through a Roku stick and on television, but it works on my laptop for whatever freaking reason. But man, that 11th round, back and forth, you thought that Hernandez was getting stopped, and then you thought that Foster might be getting stopped. But my God, I just could not get enough.
Yeah, that round was fantastic. It was great viewing.
That I was watching back again today.
Yeah, no, likewise. I think I'll be watching it back again soon at some point. But yeah, no, it was a great round. You really thought Foster was actually just going to take him out there and then I mean, Hernandez showed some balls to come back into it, and I think he just threw one big shot and then kind of leveled the playing field again, and then Foster backed up onto the ropes, and then Foster threw one hell of an uppercut off the ropes, and a big shout out to Damo in the chat who took some screenshots of Hernandez's hair as flat as a pancake, and then immediately as he takes that uppercut, his hair is like, it looks like it wants to shoot off the top of Hernandez's head. It's a brilliant picture if you haven't seen it, but yeah, great round.
Looked like fucking Eraserhead for a moment.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, like it had pins in his head, man. It was brilliant. But yeah, it really good fight, back and forward. I thought the judges' scoring, obviously, the stoppage obviously didn't affect it, but I thought the judges' scoring was appalling. I thought it was a lot closer. There was like 1 or 2 rounds in it, maybe. But yeah, big up Foster. I mean, he did brilliantly to force a stoppage, and I think the referee did the right thing. I mean, for me, the referee could have ended it sooner than that, but he gave Hernandez every opportunity to prove his his strength and determined willingness and all that. But yeah, he didn't have it in the end, and the referee rightfully stopped it. But yeah, great fight, and yeah, round of the year, could be fight of the year as well. Good contender for that as well. But yeah, no, really good. Enjoyed that one. I'll be watching that back soon.
Round of the decade, I
just
think.
Don't know if it's fight of the year, because really, round of the decade. Well, it is an early decade. We still got like 6 years left to go. But what's your argument on that one? I thought it was fucking great. I'm with you. It's up there.
Well, for me, the way I see it is that sometimes you remember certain rounds, and I can't remember all too many. I'd say probably in the last 10, 15 years, that sort of round, that sort of, like, not just bombs away, but quality as well. There's not too many that you can remember that are better than that. I mean, I just put in our chat then, do we think it's as good as, or if better than, Corrales Castillo? Probably not. But for me, I don't think it's a million miles away. That's how good I think that round was.
That's a hell of a statement. That is a hell of a statement. I didn't think the first half of that fight made it a fight of the year candidate, but I can't think of anything which would beat it for round of the year at this point in time. And especially if you're speaking of it that highly, it's just one of those things I don't necessarily think of a lot. Don't put down a list or anything very often.
Yeah. No, you're right there on a sense of, I don't think anybody documents, what a round that was, but I think that's the one thing I've said. It's rare the boxing like world unites, but when a lot of people are saying that last night was that round of the year, then I think everybody's got to take note and realise that how good that round was.
Rob, what were thoughts on that? Did you catch the fight? Rob, did you catch the fight? Between tech issues and people not like unmuting or paying attention. There we go.
What are you
Rob.
fucking? Was it me? Is it me you're giving out about? Because I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, I was asking you if you saw Foster versus Hernandez.
Bob Foster versus Dick Tiger. I saw Bob Foster versus Dick Tiger. No, I saw it. Yeah, look, that fight's one of the great things about the sport. 2 well-matched guys, in the competitive division, big fights to be made against other opponents. Two of them left it all in the ring, and Foster showed that he had something fucking that he could dig down. Because I expected at times Rocky Hernandez had I don't want to discredit him and call him a one-dimensional fighter, but he is what he is. He's a come forward fighter. He's wild. He throws a lot of punches. He punches hard himself. Foster weathered the storm, came back, fucking leathered him, and got the stoppage. And it was back and forth stuff, and it was high level stuff, and it was entertaining. And it's just a pity it was on a platform where no one will see it. The Zone, which is the last of the Mohicans in the boxing broadcasting world, especially in America at the moment, apart from ESPN. So I don't know what the future holds, but while boxing is still kind of being broadcast in the States, and there's still hope, that kind of fight raises the stock of boxing. It's just a pity people weren't watching that last night instead of the other shit show in Riyadh, because that's really everything great about boxing: drama, 2 guys leaving it all in the ring. a deserved winner, a knockout finish, and both of them can come again. And Foster has fights available now with Cardina or Vasquez. Two of those fights I'd like to see. I'd like to see the Vasquez one more. Obviously, I think Cardina's probably an easier fight for him, but and I'd like to see Hernandez out again against either the loser of those two fights. So, exciting fight, delivered, definitely a high octane round, and that's what fucking boxing is all about. You know, that's what it's all about. Two guys giving their best, two guys matched well, and leaving nothing in the ring, and that's what we like to see. So, on a night where we're kind of being negative enough for spending an hour talking about fucking Fury and Ngannou, I think this fight deserves a lot of praise. And if you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out because you won't be disappointed.
Yeah, DAZN did us right on this one for sure. Des, did you catch this fight?
Yeah, I like Foster. I like the way he's come up. I like the way he's grown in the shadow of the Charlos and Spence. And Texas has become a bit of a hotbed for US boxing. Whereas once it was New York and Philadelphia, Texas has really got it going now. And I think Foster's your typical blue collar fighter that no one ever fancied and is probably overlooked. And he's found himself in a really good position now. I think it was laid on Fernandez, but Foster did what guys like Foster do. They enjoy being a champion. They're not going to give it up. And it's going to take a really good fighter to beat Foster.
Yeah, and I think Cordina is no longer with Eddie after this fight coming up, or maybe I heard wrong. I don't know. Maybe there's something going. I thought that he was DAZN for a while, if not now. I wonder maybe after not making weight against Lee Wood, if Mauricio Lara might not be in the cards for Foster. That's a fight that could be made. And if for some reason they have no real ties to him after that fight, I would certainly watch him against Navarrete. But I think they're eyeing Navarrete against Shakur after them sharing the same card this coming month.
Matty, I think Matchroom DAZN will keep Cordina on because he's trained by Tony Sims as well, isn't he?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, yes.
I think they're going to, and I think it's just to push that towards Lee Wood in Nottingham. I think that's a natural fight, and I think Foster will stay out and either do Navarrete or probably Vasquez. Vasquez is the more natural fight for Foster, I think, and Cordina is more natural with Lee Wood.
I saw Navarrete. I was going to say I saw Navarrete not call out, but pretty much say that I will fight Lee Wood next. So, with Navarrete coming out and publicly,
would you like to see Lee Wood against Navarrete?
Well, yeah, kind of. If he's going to go up, I don't want to see. For me, that Lee Wood is that big; he doesn't need to grow into that weight. We're not talking about a guy that needs 2 or 3 fights to really grow into it. If he's jumping up in weight because he cannot make it anymore, and he's the only reason he's moving, and he's a world champion as well. He's not as if he's lost. Going at the deep end again.
Yeah.
No one's going to have any criticism. If Navarrete, if he goes up and Navarrete beats him, no one's going to go, "Oh, Lee Wood should retire. That's it. That's that." But we know what Hearn will do, and this is my point. No, we don't need to do that. There's no money in that fight. We'll look at a different route. We'll look at this and we'll look at that and we'll build it. And that is the problem. Wood will box anybody. And if Wood can carry his power up there, and look, he's limited, but with the power he's got, he can as good as beat anybody with the power he's got. It's legit. And he carries it all the way through the fight. Is that a fight I'd want to see against Navarrete? Absolutely. What a fight that would be. We talk about styles and fights. It can't be shit, can it? Realistically, it can't be a bad
brilliant fight.
And if it was to turn out badly, there's nobody to blame for it whatsoever. It just doesn't turn out. But on paper, it should be fantastic.
But the caveat I would put to that, and I had this conversation with a lot of the lads. I like British fighters to go and do a Carl Froch, fight 3, 4, 5 guys of top 5 rankings. And go and build a resume. Go and have a legacy. I've got to say, though, my caveat to Lee Wood is I've seen him on his last 4 or 5. every fight's a hard fight. It ships an awful lot of punishment. And I'm putting myself in the shoes of a manager now. And I'd probably think that might be Lee Wood's cashing out fight. But if he's got 2 or 3 left, I wouldn't do that yet.
No, I can understand that, and it's kind of contradictory to what I say. But with someone like Wood and where he's at, like, let's have it right. He beat Josh Warrington, but it's not as if he was unscathed in that. He took a beating in that as well. And he was losing. Yeah, exactly that. And they will be looking for the money fights. But again, every fight he has is not. It's not as if he goes in and bangs somebody out in a round. He's taking punishment, and it's pretty much that. I will take a dig to ensure that I knock you out, no matter when it comes, and that is what it is with Wood. But I tell you what, he's a welcomed addition to that weight division. 100%. And I tell you what, it's as strong as I can remember in a long, long time. There's some proper fighters there. What I think they'll do realistically, I think they'll do Cordina Wood. It makes the most sense from a UK perspective.
I think that as well.
That's what I think. That's what I think they'll do. But for Cordina, and that's what I think he'll do as well. I think Cordina is in the blend of being looked after, trained, managed by Tony Sims, and it's all about the money. It's not about the big names. It's not about the big fights. It's what that will pay you the most, and that is the problem. Somebody will box somebody for X amount because it's more money, rather than boxing somebody for the right reason and winning the belts, and those fights.
And they keep all the money in house, don't they? And they keep it all to themselves. You know, you've got your promoter, your promoter's trainer, the trainer's fighter. It keeps the money to themselves.
And it's something I put out before where Denzel Bentley coincidentally replied and said that he disagrees, and he said that promoters and broadcasters have give fighters the opportunity to earn money, and I never dispute that. And without broadcasters, that boxing it's pretty much reliant on tickets. But my point is that the broadcasters allow a poor product, and the promoters allow egos to get in the way, and they don't box each other. So I said, you look at Warren's Magnificent Seven card coming up in December. It's a good card. That there's good fights on it. There's not one crossover fight though, in terms of somebody coming from, for example, Sky, DAZN, coming over to Queensbury and boxing. So you've got Isaac Dogbo coming over, but realistically, it's not like a real crossover. You've got Bentley Heaney is Queensbury. You've got Kakachi against Ryan Garner, Queensbury, and then the other fights that are on there, they're all fights that are made by the board. I think you've got Liam Davis against his European mandatory, so that the Italian lad coming over is not assigned to anybody from where it's deemed as a crossover. None of it. And that's my point, that he's got, 8 fights on there? Decent fights, but not one of them are involving another British promoter. And last night, in terms of Adelaide Wardley, was a crossover. But who made that? The board made that. It wasn't a fight that will make you a bigger offer, and that's that. And that's the problem, is there you're snookered by it, and everything allows it. And
yeah,
that's
I find myself being contradictory here, because I often talk about fighters avoiding other names, and for a lot of guys, it's about who they don't fight. I find myself putting my manager's hat on with Lee Wood, though, because I've seen him in so many hard fights, and I've seen the rebuild from losing to Jazza Dickens, at York Hall, to where he is now. And I'm just thinking, it would have been nice if they'd have brought an Isaac Dogbo over for Lee Wood. There's a few quid. They'd have put him in with Cordina. There's some more money, and then we're going to cash you out with Navarrete, maybe in America, and you've built something, and you can retire with a lot of money and with a legacy. And that's probably why I'm saying that about Lee Wood. I wouldn't say it of everyone, but just with Lee Wood in particular, because I've seen his career from start to where it is now, and I think he deserves to be managed correctly. So I think if you're going to get in Navarrete, I just think I don't want to see him with Navarrete on the next one.
Navarrete is a brutal fight for whoever's in there with him. You got to come in with that guy at 100%, or you're going to be in some serious trouble. It still shocks me that he was making 122, or was he even making 118 at one point? No, just 122. It's insane. That guy is just massive at the weight.
And this might sound funny, Matty, but Navarrete is what we call a proper Mexican fighter. You know, there's nothing diluted there. He's a proper Mexican who knows how to fight like a Mexican.
Oh yeah, I still think I would like to see him. I think that would be a killer fight. Just make that damn fight. Make us happy as boxing is suffering through losing television deals and people not knowing where these fights are going to be next year. Find a place for something like Emmanuel Navarrete against Mauricio Lara, and the boxing fans will find it and they will enjoy it. That's guaranteed.
Yeah.
But anyhow, moving on. There is a Pro Box event that is going to be going on Wednesday. A couple of decent fights on there. Angelo Leo coming back 21-1 currently. Just has a victory after his loss to Stephen Fulton, taking on 24-20 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, 24-1. Got to be careful by how you say that. Nicholas Polanco. And that's going to be headlined by what I think could be an interesting fight. Jonathan Figueroa Boca Chica, 17-1-1, coming back after his first career loss, taking on Alberto Palmetta, also coming off against losses against Jamal James. Boca Chica's was to, I can remember that there. Roman Villa, that's right. Yeah, and that was Villa kind of came out of nowhere a bit on that one. So anyhow, that should be an interesting card on Wednesday. You guys can catch that when you wake up on YouTube from Pro Box. And then there's not a whole lot going on there. And then we're going to have an ESPN I'm going to the ESPN schedule, not going for an ESPN card. I don't know where this is going to be on TV here. Nothing listed yet. Maybe this will be one to fall on Peacock or something. I'm sure over there it'd be easy to find. Got Joe Cordina taking on Edward Vasquez. 12 rounds. The IBF junior lightweight title on the line there. Then you're going to have Siventa. God, I hate these names sometimes. Sivanate Notshinga. I can say his last name versus Adrian Criel Dominguez. That's going to be for the 112-pound belt there, or 108-pound belt, actually. Then we're going to... then we're going to have Solomon Sissoko taking on Isaias Lucero at 154 pounds. And then we're going to have a rematch. Oh, no. Julissa Alejandra Guzman, seeing if she can knock Ramla Ali into next week a second time around. I didn't even know that was on this card. Looking forward to that one. That was a fucking vile knockout. But anyways, Andy, any thoughts on this card?
Sorry, mate, is that the Monaco card?
That's the
Cordina card. It is. I was just on another note just before I do. Actually, I seen the DAZN card last night for Mexico's like hit or miss listed on BoxRec, so I don't know what's happening there. Don't know what to say about the card, mate. Just kind of threw it on me there. I didn't really get it was on, actually. I was too busy looking for the British and American cards next week and totally missed that this was actually happening in Monte Carlo. Don't know much about the opponent other than what I'm seeing on his record just now. He's never been in a 12-rounder by the looks of it. Not seen any names on note on that as well, so this will be my first time seeing him. Probably Cordina, you know what he is. He is a very skilled fighter. But his box office, that still needs to be seen. But it's at this point in his career now, to me at least, he's going to be all the fight he's going to be. I like to see him potentially after his fight, or hopefully either him calling out the fighters, but certainly Eddie stepping up and trying to make some of the unification fights. I like to see the Garcia fight, definitely. But as Des and that was saying as well, and I'm starting to kind of very warm to him with Shaquie Foster. I think he's definitely is going to be a hard fighter. All those champions here just now, actually, I would love to see any of those 4 get it on. So whatever way or whatever ones you want, even if you have a semi-final, 2 semis, and then you have the 2 winners face off, that would be the ideal situation for for that division. But for Cardina, just dealing with business. I think this is a voluntary as well. So again, get him out, get him filming as a world champion, get a couple of paydays under his belt, potentially, and then I think maybe this time next year, or maybe early summer possibly, maybe try and get him a unification fight, if it's at all possible. So as I said, because we were mentioning it last week about Oscar and that, trying to do cross business promotion. So like you see Eddie do that as well, step up maybe with other promoters and maybe Top Rank, maybe make the Navarrete fight hopefully. I wouldn't think Foster would come expensively, so it's always opportunity as well. So yep. Again, it's not really a card that I'm going to be kind of like chatting at the bit to see. To be honest, I'll probably sit and watch the main event possibly, but other than that, there's nothing else floating my boat there. Just to kind of keep me interested. It's a bit like the undercard last night in Saudi Arabia. Just nothing there at all that really was going to keep me interested.
Well, I will allow you guys to speak your mind on that card if you have any interest, or speak now or forever hold your peace.
All I'll say on that, Matty, is that the Monte Carlo cards seem to be soulless, though. That's the only downside. Don't get me wrong; it's a tick over fight for Cordina, and there only seems to be 3 fights listed on the undercard for that so far. But Monte Carlo is a soulless place for boxing. I remember some of the stuff that Hearn's put on there before. It's terrible. So
it's garbage.
Yeah.
It is appalling, and for Hearn, who's coming out saying, "Oh, we're gonna tackle these fighters who want easy tick-overs, and we're not going to pay them for this." What the fuck is this world title fight about? It's just a nothing fight. That this guy, I mean, Andy said it right. Who is an encyclopedia on boxing? I know nothing about the opponent aside from looking at his record. Well, it says it all, really. Who is this guy? And do you know what? It epitomises Cordina's career, by the way. Again, who has just been matched weirdly and protective. And I do wonder if it's something to do with Tony Sims in a way, in a sense of where he's incredibly just risk averse. And it's just a case of unless it's really worth it, that actually we'll just go with the flow and box just garbage, ultimately. Utter rubbish. And the card itself, I think for me as a fighter, if you're getting sent over there, it says a lot about what they think about you. There's no value in Cordina going boxing over there. I never understand why they don't try and build him in Wales. It's an untapped area. It's just, I never understood why Warren didn't build Liam Williams there properly. I remember when Liam Williams was boxing Ahmet Patterson, and he pretty much sold out the arena in Wales. And then after that, they never went back. And I thought, well, rather than peppering London all the time or occasionally going up north into Manchester or Liverpool, if you've got a Welsh fighter and you can headline with him, go and do it. And do it regularly, because they will turn out and they will watch him. And now they're sending him to France. What's the point? Why are you doing that? What is the point? It just makes no sense whatsoever. And again, the caliber of opponent and what it's going to be like, it might look glitz and glam under the TV cameras and the bright lights, but actually, you said it right. It's a soulless atmosphere, completely soulless. And again, it's just this naff product which people are accepting, and the broadcasters are accepting and say, yeah, this will do for us. It makes no sense again whatsoever.
It's a damn shame. What the hell? This is going to be a wasted weekend. Might actually have to be social with people. It just sounds freaking terrible. On Friday night from the town hall in Aloha, you got Charlie Doig undefeated against George Stewart, also undefeated. The BBBSC Scottish area super featherweight title is on the line. Andy, have you been demoted to an area?
In terms of the British Border Control, mate, yeah, you got we're kind of down into areas. England's the same. England's split into, I think, is it 4 or 5 areas? 4, I think. You got the Welsh, the Irish, and the Scottish area councils. So, yeah, I'm surprised you even noticed this fight happening. But tell me again, mate. Go and tell me the name of the town this is happening in.
Why?
Town Hall. Town Hall where?
Aloha?
Alloa.
Alloa?
It's Alloa.
How the
where,
fuck am I supposed
by
to
the
know
way,
that?
can I say something? That's where Tommy's fair, by the way. Tommy's fair, Alloa.
Is it?
Aye. The town hall,
I wonder
honestly,
if he'll be there.
it's a very, very small version of the York Hall. It's got like bleachers, but I think you'll be getting something like about 1,000 if possible in there. Maybe even way less than that, maybe even.
Well, we'll know that Tommy's there if we see somebody getting escorted out by the police after violence in the stands.
Aye. Maybe we're lucky to get this on a stream somewhere.
Let's see here. Something I did miss. There is going to be, I think this is on DAZN, even though it doesn't say anything on there. Yeah, it was. I think I heard him say that last night in the on the telecast. Costa Rica in the ring and then right back again. Yokasta Valle, 6 weeks, I think, after her last fight. Going to be defending her belts against Annabella Ortiz, 33-5. That's the minimum weight belt. And then also on that card, this could be slightly interesting. Got 25-0 Santiago Dominguez over 8 rounds, taking on Calvinier Salazar, 19-2-1. That's a welterweight contest. So actually, we will have that on Saturday night, which I like. I like Valle quite a bit, actually. I think if you guys saw her, you'd like Valle too, at least the weigh-ins. Anyhow, so that I think is. Wait, Danny, you wanted to touch on something that is near and dear to your heart. That being the 92nd birthday celebration of Don King.
It was just purely for the laughs because I can't believe the guy's still living. It's a joke, really. But yeah, no, he's still going strong, and he's got a card on Saturday night. And the highly rated Lunga Junior Makabu is top of the bill on that one. Defending his world cruiserweight, or no, sorry, not defending. It's vacant, isn't it? Vacant title, WBC World Cruiserweight title. He's, this is the card as we just discussed earlier. I think our man Broner was meant to be on this one, but I think he's pulled him off it for some reason. But yeah, he's
not letting him fight on the card either. Tell you what, say what you want about Don King. If Don King was in charge today, if Don King still had the same power that he had today in the 80s and the 90s, yes, the fighters will be getting robbed, but we'd be getting great fights.
The fights would be made, yep, absolutely.
He made some of the biggest fucking fights in history, from Larry Holmes to Jerry Cooney. We don't have to go into it. Fucking Chavez, Eldred Taylor, whatever. He made some of the greatest fights of all time, and some of the most stacked cards of all time.
Get close to your mic, Rob.
Sorry, I said I know he was a scumbag and he robbed the fighters and that, but at the end of the day, overpaying the fighters has put us in this predicament. So maybe some balance, that way.
It was way better when the fucking fighters were getting fucked over. We had so many more entertaining events to see. It's just awful. The fighters having the upper hand is just shit. But anyhow, Danny, continue.
No, I was only saying Don King's like an absolute cockroach. If a bomb went off, he'd still be alive. Honestly, he's like asbestos, mate. He's so.
Danny?
Yes, mate.
Do you know why Badou Jack relinquished that WBC title? Because I'm assuming you're saying it's vacant, so Badou Jack must have relinquished it.
If you have 15 draws in a row, they make you relinquish it.
No, I don't. Well, no,
I am
really
right,
know.
aren't I? That would have been relinquished by Badou Jack.
Yeah, but I don't really know why. Obviously, Badou Jack was out wasn't he in like Dubai or places like that, shaking hands with people you wouldn't want to shake hands with?
I think he vacated it.
For what reason, Andy? Do you know?
Just try to catch up on the news, but
maybe the WBC wanted him to go a certain way, and he didn't make promises.
He set his sights on becoming the WBC Bridgerweight champion, a title challenge against the Polish guys. Is it Rosansky? Which is expected to be announced imminently. So I don't know if he's got a fight planned, but that was last month. that's late last month. So here we are, almost early November, and it's no announcement yet. So
Andy, is that
trying to become
Bridgerweight
the most
champion?
decorated.
Is that the kid that beat our kid? What's the kid's name that
Babbage.
Babbage. Is that the kid that beat Babbage?
the cabbage, I think so.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, man. Jack's trying to become the most decorated Swede since the guy who started IKEA.
Since Erika Johnson.
So fucking
Matty didn't get that one.
No, different country. Don't worry.
It's bad enough when you have the silences from us after his jokes, but when he has a silence after his own joke, it's fucking twice as bad.
Yeah, back to trolling BoxRec to find more things that I can't pronounce.
He might keep cutting it.
Let's see here. Andy, you love these things. Let's see here. Finland.
Oh, no.
We're gonna have a fight between 18-1 Samuli Karkinen against Kevin Malhus, who's undefeated. That's a cruiserweight fight.
Big Melhus is Norwegian, isn't he?
Oh, that's a big fight then. We're gonna have Finns against Norwegians. That's some big shit right there.
It's something's not been seen since World War II, probably. Mate, to be honest, I don't know nothing about the guy he's fighting. I've seen Melhus fight twice, possibly. Every chance this will be on pay-per-view. I won't be rushing to buy it, and I very much doubt I'll be rushing to download any versions that appear that may appear. This is your classic box top rank card, that mate. It's filled with 6-rounders and a 10-rounder for a main event. Dog shite, mate. Dog shite.
Well, maybe you go over to France then, Andy, and you watch 17-2 Walid Usyk against Charlemagne Mitan Yekpan.
No, can't see that happening either, mate.
No.
Scraping the barrel here, Matty. Scraping the barrel.
Man, I tell you, but we said there was no boxing on, and alas, we have lied, because as we go through BoxRec, I just see all these intriguing matchups, just all over the place. Just great boxing. Yeah, well, I wouldn't say great boxing, but yeah, for those of you who are willing to explore the depths of the Inferno twig, I'm sure you can find some good stuff. Ooh, there's even an undefeated fight in Ghana as well. My God, my cup, it runneth over. So, I think it's time for the value of the weeks, and we're going to nurse our way through this without Steve here on my 13.5-inch screen. They say
Thank God he said screen. Fuck's sake.
Aye. I was going to say 13 inches flaccid there.
Yeah. Rob, she said she wanted 9 inches and she wanted it to hurt, so I put it in her 3 times.
Boo!
Anyhow, value of the weeks. I don't know. Did Steve have a video loaded this week? I don't know. Let's see what we can pull up here. You never know. That's just a picture, I think. Yeah, sad. Yeah, well, we'll just get it kicked off. All right, first entry this week. Oh, let's clear that comment. We can read the darn thing. All right, Oleksandr Usyk responds to Frank Warren saying the Tyson Fury fight won't take place on December 23rd, saying Uncle Frank says some sneaky things. We have a contract that says the fight has to take place on December 23rd. Let Fury vacate his title first, then he can take his rest. Tyson, we must fight. We must do it. December 23rd. See you in the ring. I love you.
Aye. Be interesting to see if he walks back. Well, he is going to walk back those comments, isn't he? He's already said that. Well, he's already kind of basically insinuated that anyway.
The thing is, cash talks, bullshit walks. It depends on what the number they put on the table. If they say, hey, hang around, we'll throw you another $500,000, another $1 million, whatever, they'll probably sit around, right?
Well, as far as we know, the fight's agreed. Again, it just seems to kind of like come down to the fact is we need to get a date firmly tied down. But I'm just not hopeful at the end of the day. I mean, as I say, look, I'm not bag on Fury again because we've spent over an hour a night talking about it and that. But just you're meant to be the man of the flagship division of the sport. You're meant to be the number one guy. Fight your next man up, and that's Usyk. So just get a fucking date arranged and let's get it. So, but if it's not going to be December 3rd, then I know look, there's a lot of blame to go around. You can blame music for whatever and Fury and all that type of stuff and that as well. But this fight doesn't happen December 23rd. It's own Fury because he fucked about with this fight. Picked up a few maybe sneaky injuries or a wee cut here and there, a bruise or whatever it is, a bruised ego. I don't give a fuck. But if he didn't get this fight by December 23rd, it's on one man and one man only.
And Andy, logistically, this fight can happen because
Yeah.
you've got to assume if Fury's been in camp at least 6 to 9 weeks already for this one. He got 12 rounds last night, which is great preparation. He's got 8 weeks to go, and judging by the scales, he's only got a stone to lose, which is more than easy enough for him to do. So there's no real reason logistically why this fight can't happen. I just think your pessimism is a product of how we've been treated over the last few years.
Yeah, I know what you mean, mate. It's just like everything else. I mean, it's like David Hay back in the day, wasn't it? You were
Correct.
like, Christ, is he going to pull out of this fight?
Correct.
You know, when I went to Hamburg for that fight against Klitschko, I sweated for about the 5 weeks that I'd booked up for that. I'm like, come on, he's not going to pull out now. And obviously, as well, you had Dan Raphael trolling him on Twitter at the time about not pulling out. And then what happens? Oh, I'm injured, dude. And then you had the same thing with the Bellew fighting now, you know what I'm saying? And you're right, the logistics are there. They're in the country right now. So you could have your camp there if you want.
I'm with Andy. I think it's going to get pushed out. I think they were coming out straight last. I think that fight took a little bit out of Fury. Like, I think the punch, the damage he took, I think it's took a bit out of him. I don't think he's ready for a fight in fucking 8 weeks. I think he needs a rest. Like, what they were planning on doing, I'd say, is because he needed to take off so much weight, is that he gets this little exhibition in, he gets a ton of money for a fucking fat camp, basically, to lose the weight, and then he gets a run out then 8 weeks later with Usyk when he's sharp, after he's demolished this guy in 3 or 4 rounds and punched him like a heavy bag, but it just didn't work out like that, and I don't think they'll be in any hurry to make that fight before this. I cannot see that fight getting made December 23rd. I think it'll be January, February, if it happens. And, not to spend too long on it, because like Andy said, we've been on about him all night, and we don't know who's culpable really. Like, each side blames each other. But what we do know is that AJ and Fury didn't get made, and Usyk and Fury didn't get made. So they haven't got for the two. We've missed probably the two biggest fights in the heavyweight division that could have been made for the last 5 years.
There's something funny from the fight. Fury averaged landing 7 punches around Ngannou 6. Isn't that impressive? That's value worthy as well.
Yeah, I wasn't going to expect to.
Number 2. Let's see here. Barry McGuigan tweeting, hearing Tyson Fury was well beaten by novice professional boxer Francis Ngannou. Hearing it secondhand on Twitter because I refused to watch those crappy fights. Boxing fans, what happened? Shane Watson responding, was you not a part of Freddie Flintoff's debut?
Yeah, and he still has the money for it as well. He's not giving it to Freddie.
Good comeback. That I enjoyed that one.
Exceptional. All right, number 3. All right. Ariel Helwane tweeting, by the way, I know styles make fights, but this Francis beats Wilder, Chisora White, or anyone else the smug boxing public suggested he fight instead. And Sweet Pugilism responding, you talking rubbish. I don't know about that one. I don't know. I think I would take Ngannou over Chisora if Chisora wants to keep fighting. Would anyone argue with that?
The current version of Chisora, no, mate. To be fair, I think that's a fair point.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I think that
maybe even White, maybe even White as well.
Yeah, that might have been a swing and a miss. Maybe it's on the presenter. I don't know. Number 4. Let's see here. Savannah Marshall said, seen about 4 women in the whole arena. Rick replied to her, at least they weren't boxing. Rick with the burn.
Rickster.
All right, number 5. Let's see here.
What are you fucking counting these down like Casey Kasem for? Just fucking read them out like Steve, will you? What the fuck is the countdown for?
I'm Casey Kasem, 40 of the week. Anyhow, instant reaction. Let's see here. Eddie Hearn saying, Ngannou won. Usyk fight is dead. Joshua KO's Fury in 6. Eduardo always having to get his piece in, whether it involves his fighters or not, Des.
Eddie would have loved that last night, seen Fury getting dumped in his ass like that. He'd have fucking loved it. He'd have been up dancing on the spot, giving it fucking nutters, get that fucking up, yeah. You know, Eddie's no better at all. You know what I'm saying? He's all about the good of the sport, mate. Eddie's all about the big fights. He's going to make Wilder Joshua soon, mate. Just you watch and see this.
He should shut the fuck up, because if Ngannou got Joshua, he would have fucking finished him.
Oh, this is be thinking about it. Could you imagine it happening? I said it last week. It would, didn't I? I said it on the pod last week. It would be brilliant, just because all this waltzing and meandering around about trying, these big fights not happening. Be great just to fucking end it right there and then if Ngannou had actually won. Save us all this bollocks.
Do you know what though, Hearn? Like he's desperate to keep Joshua's name in the picture, and let's not forget and try not to pretend. Joshua's like one loss away from being dead in the water. He's finished after that, and that loss could be against like God forbid he fights Wallin in his next fight. If they choose someone like that, or Zilly Zhang,
give him Walling a Zhang. No, it's going to be Cabiel, isn't it?
Of course it is, but what I'm saying is, like, if he actually fights a legitimate opponent, he could be done. He could be finished.
I think he knows that he's just hanging. He's hanging for the cash out, isn't he?
Of course he is, absolutely.
You wait for the biggest possible payday and then fuck it. You know that way. It's a great story. Anthony made it from here to there. There's no shame in it, and he's going to retire happy. But Joshua's lost the fucking plot, man. He's going around in a dark room and all for 4 days at the expense of $2,000. There's something. I think there's mental stuff at play with AJ as well. Anyway, we're belly with the week territory there. We could end up down the fucking AJ rabbit hole. But anyway.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what though, if they make Joshua versus Caballero in Malta, I'm all for the commemorative coin. I'm well up for it.
Would it be as cool as what they got for the fight in Gibraltar?
Oh, is that the £2 coin?
Yeah.
Let's see here. All right, got to get Eddie in there. Número 6, Roberto. De La Hoya and Ngannou's chances of beating Fury.
I had this one up as well, actually.
I have a better chance of beating Tiger Woods than golf.
Actually, I had this one up as well.
I kind of think we all have egg.
Yeah.
He was enjoying life this weekend, wasn't he?
Right,
that
Shaggers
smile didn't wipe off his face.
him versus Tiger Woods. Forget the golf. That's a right Shaggers competition there, isn't it? Like it's pound for pound shit there.
A battle of stamina, that one. Like,
how the fuck? Obviously, it's money. Like, because Tiger, like Oscar, you could tell like he's a bit of a go boy. He likes a party and that. But Tiger was doing wild shit, like fucking sleeping with bitches in car parks and just having ones dropped off to him and all. But he had absolutely no game. Remember when he got caught out and he called the woman? He's like, hey, it's Tiger. Can you please take your name off your phone? My wife is going to call your voicemail. Please take your name off your voicemail if you can do that for me. It's Tiger, by the way. Thank you. She went straight to the press.
Paul Mooney ripped on Tiger for sounding like a bitch. Said he should just come out there and yeah, bitch, I did it. What the fuck are you going to say about it? I'm rich and all.
But see, he says, shut up, you're the nanny.
What the fuck I want?
Shut the fuck up, you're the nanny. You're not fucking hitting these balls. Fucking shut up.
It's like Arnie becomes famous for lifting weights. How long do you think it would take us to get famous to do that? And then he goes and becomes an actor against all odds, becomes a mega movie star. Right? How many else could do that in one lifetime? And then becomes a politician in fucking some state that some folk can't even pronounce. And fucking, I mean, how many of us could go to another country, learn the foreign language, fucking get famous for lifting weights, marry into the royal family, become an actor by speaking their fucking language, and then go into politics? How many fucking lifetimes do you need?
And then the asshole, they were calling him the governor, and he was like keeping a death sentence in. He was like, it was almost like he was fucking like his Conan the Barbarian stick, like when he was sentencing people to death, they were calling him the governor and all, like, fucking asshole. Stop giving him English names in the fucking movies as well. Like, my name is John Campbell. Fuck off, man. He's from Austria, this guy. He has a fucking American name in every movie he's in. Ben Russell.
Oh, there is no bathroom. Sorry, mate.
Yeah. You can't be adopted. You can't be adopted by American parents from Eastern Europe in every movie.
Yeah. Every fucking movie, he's got the John Matrix. Rawr.
All right, let's see here.
Oh, no.
Isaac, our buddy, says, see a lot of people on about everybody. Can I have a night off night? Yes. Tyson was nowhere near his best things in Find. Next time you'll see percent better Tyson. It's fighting anything can happy to big man. Just all the fake fans and at it again. Like to see them get in a ring.
Sounds suspiciously like a lad that was in the chat tonight, doesn't it? Just fucking...
I thought
no
so
statement
too.
on this, but this is very
Was that
funny.
London
Isaac, were you in the
Irish?
chat tonight, man, or what? Was that you? Just fucking say it was you. It's cool if it was.
Do you know what I did notice, Matty, last night that Mr. Lowe found his way in the ring last night, and I'm pretty stunned, to be honest with you, because I'm amazed he actually wrote his name down correctly when he entered the arena to get his ticket. So well played, fair play to him.
Progress, just because the education system failed you doesn't mean that you can't do better as an adult.
I mean, what is he doing out there, like in Parker's camp when up on the ring when Parker won? Like, what is that all about?
They're all mates. I think Parker lives in Markham now, don't he? So
and they're all
they're
pals.
all like fucking they're in camp the whole time together. Like,
Strange.
Well, that is all that was in the queue for the week. Mr. Patterson, what do you have?
Jesus, that's brutal.
The two judges, mate, on the Foster Hernandez card. I'm just trying to see if I can get their names here. Give me a second. I think it's Ed Pearson. He had it 107 to 102, and is it Nicholas Haudago? I think it is 110 to 99. Just disgraceful. It's got to be corruption, mate. You cannot be that incompetent. You can't actually just score a fight for a guy who's just pressing the action and throwing looping shots and no landing much compared to his opponent. So yeah, that's just bollocks, mate. They two need to be chimed off. He mentioned Oscar. This one made me laugh, actually. It was actually from Macho Grande on Twitter. He says, can't help but chuckle. Frank Warren is out in Saudi promoting an event dripping in gold bullion and surrounded by a who's who of the sporting world. Meanwhile, Eddie, on the other hand, is promoting from a bingo hall in Mexico favela this weekend. How things have changed. One for John Fury at the bloody weigh-in, man, looking like the fucking Aldi version of Hulk Hogan with that shitty handlebar moustache and that.
Let's fight, brother. Let's fight. He made sure to call Mike Tyson brother when he was calling him out for a fight, and he was just taking a sting out of that one.
And then he tries to get in front of Ngannou at the weigh-in, and he has to get pulled out the road because he's actually standing in front of the two guys during the final fucking stared in. And I missed this, actually. I didn't even know what happened, but apparently Keyshawn Davis has had his fight against Nahir Albright turned to no decision, Matty. 90-day suspension for rules violation, but no mention as to what it is.
I heard weed, and at 90 days, that makes sense.
Okay, so when did that fight happen?
How was that performance enhancing? Should fucking give him an extra fucking
in Texas
2 points.
In fucking Texas, of all places, to.
That's not performance enhancing. That's going to be performance detracting. He deserves extra credit, Keyshawn, for that one.
And if it's weed, man, how's he getting done for that? I mean, you try to get anybody to perform on weed when they're stoned out or not. You make a chance of making love fucking want to fight.
See, he was lied to by his promoter. He thought he was going to Thailand for the weed boxing championships, and then they threw him in with Nahir Albright.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Damn that duplicitous Bob. That son of a bitch.
Right. And
he probably got the weed off Aaron.
The gummies at least.
Take this gummy, Keyshawn. It'll relax you, baby.
Good point.
I'll just throw one in there for. I'll throw one out for Tyson Fury for getting dropped on his ass here last night and basically ending the myth that he could go into a cage and try and fucking fight some of these guys. And one for the boxing community as well, i.e. the fans and everybody else involved who actually thought it was going to be an easy night's work for Fury, me included. I thought once I seen him getting gassed, I was like, surely Fury's going to pick this up a little bit here, but just didn't do it. But I still think he won the fight, but as I say, it was not comfortable in any way, shape, or form for him. I don't think so. One for us, I think. That's all for me, Matty.
I agree with that one. Danny, what do you got?
Well, you've missed it. You've missed a hell of a value of the week there. The Gad having an absolute meltdown because he's no longer buddies with Mr. Fury anymore, and when interviewed
That's
by
right.
IFL, he rather than answer the question, he just stormed off. So the Gad not happy at the minute. I suppose the same goes for TalkSport as well. I mean, they're not happy, are they? That they've been blocked from having access to Fury and his camp and so on and so forth. But yeah, the Gad's not having a good time at the minute, and it was quite funny to see him throw a bit of a hissy fit on camera. So that was quite good. Those that see that. Was there anything else? I mean, obviously, John Fury always gets a mention, but I think he's going to get one every time that there's cameras on him. So that's a given these days. And then, obviously, like you said, the judges on the scorecards for the Foster Hernandez fight, I thought it was too wide for me. So, but yeah, no. Other than that, mate, no, it was pretty good.
Yeah, the shutout is absolutely indefensible. Some of those rounds are close. Maybe the 117 you could argue, but fuck me, that shutout was indefensible. So let's see here. Des, you got anything for us?
Mine was a little bit niche. Maybe you had to have been there, but it was funny. It made my day. We were talking in the group, and by the way, all the guys in the group, big shout out to them all. They're a terrific bunch. And Holly. We were talking about the pull that this type of boxing has and how it brings people in and the casuals that come into it and puts eyes on the sport. And my friend Joe Burns, we all know Joe, terrific guy. He said, "You're right. I was watching boxing last night with my wife, and when Fabio Wardley won the Commonwealth title, she said, 'Oh, look, they've got a belt for pride.'"
They probably have.
That's the gay. That's the LGBT thing, mate. That's the gay agenda, the movement.
Yeah.
And they have like a rainbow flag. So she thought that belt was for the LGBT movement. So I'm going to give that one in the nicest possible way to Joe Burns' lovely wife.
I think a few of the Americans actually who's seen that belt for the first time, they actually called it the rainbow belt way before the pride and the woke movement even woke up. I'm going back at least 10, 15 years here. Rob, I'm talking about the OTG guys now, eh?
Paddy Crowley and Shug White.
Aye, Shug White, aye.
On the crime boxing. This fucking thing used to go on longer than the Asylum on a Sunday night. It was on for about 5 hours. Fucking hell.
We love the gender and sexual minorities. They're a great bunch of lads, if that's how they identify.
And Messi, can I just say, big shout out to the guys in the chat and all the guys in the group. They're a really great bunch. And if anybody wants to chuck a few quid in every month, it's well worth it just to be in that group.
Aye, there's
Absolutely.
even
the chat is a part of the daily life.
It is.
Aye.
So, Rob, why don't you take us out on the back end here?
You want to give me a few quid to join that group?
Especially the back end group.
Okay, then. No, I've nothing really. I mean, the whole fucking the Fury, the kind of the state of boxing at the moment, the state of the heavyweight division at the moment, it's just fucking making me lose fucking hope for boxing. The networks are leaving it. Sky are definitely going to bin boxing. I don't know if there's going to be a home for big fights, and these cash outs could be the death of the sport as we know it. Not to be fucking too pessimistic, but it's hard to fucking look past that whole event last night. Just fucking don't know. Like I'm a bit lost for contributions for Belly of the Week. That whole thing was just a bit like black eye on the sport. A bit like I think, but yeah, we move on. We'll get to episode 1000, I think, and that'll be it.
Yeah, it's a miracle, and I'm almost thinking at this point in time that the Belly of the Week, Rob, it's more akin to just the regular news of boxing than the show itself sometimes. But anyways, all right. So this week, other than the various things brought to us by the panelists, we had Usyk responding to Warren. He loves him. Barry McGuigan getting it from Shane Watson. Let's see here. Ariel Helwani getting a little bit from Sweet Pugilism. I don't know if that was a good one necessarily. Let's see here. Rick getting one up on Savannah Marshall.
Underrated.
That was a good one. Eddie's reaction to Ngannou and Fury and his calls for the future. De La Hoya on Ngannou's chances, basically him taking one for the whole boxing world on that one. And Isaac Lowe and his word salad. Andy, who are you going for?
I'm going to go for Da Fury. I mean, he's just been in a complete embarrassment this week, to be fair. I just wish someone would say to him, just, keep out the picture. Be there for your son. Be there for moral support, whatever it is. And that. Can he act the clown? And one for also as well, maybe for Fury and that for like some block and talk sport, that type of thing. I mean, I listened to him back today. And I'm not a fan of Adam Cattrall by any means, but presenting some facts and that, and you can't really argue with it. So, yeah, I think one for the Furies, I think. Because I was saying, look, they were a gnat's cock away for this going the wrong way. What would have happened then? The whole fucking shebang where they came down top is, a debutante has basically got Matt, this thing back in the day, when champions had over the weight fights, right, and they lost, they had to have a rematch against the guy they lost to at a championship weight, put the title on the line because that guy knew had a claim to your title or had a claim over you at least, Can you imagine that happening nowadays? Fucking hell, then Francis Ngannou could have had a claim to the lineal heavyweight title. What the fuck? So yeah, I think the Furies are going to take it this week, mate, because they, as I say, they were very close to this backfiring.
The Furies, all right.
I'd say with certainty we never see that rematch.
Yeah, no kidding. Danny, who are you taking this?
Yeah, probably have to go
Sweet.
for Dada John, but I forgot about Amir Khan like barely stringing a word together when being asked various questions. He's a walking
legit,
worry,
by the
man.
way. He is in a very bad way, by the way. I don't care what anybody says.
It's not funny, is it, Andy? It
no,
really
it's
isn't.
not. It's really no funny. Like it's really disturbing as to how bad he's went downhill.
Yeah, it's all that wild card. It's all that wild card sparring catching up with him now, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody says to him or anybody's got the balls to say to him, but fucking someone needs to have that word. Like
the thing about Khan is that each defeat that he had was a devastating defeat, and even in some of the victories he had, he was shipping punishment from early. You remember Willie Lamont dropping him. You remember Michael Gomez dropping him. You remember Breeders Prescott evaporating him. Canelo evaporating him. Danny Garcia evaporating him.
Crawford.
Brook beating the shit out of him. Crawford fucking like he's had some fucking up at a weight that's probably not his best weight either. He's taken some shellings like.
Who's he been sparring at? Did you say, Matt, in that wild card gym over the years with Pacquiao?
Rob, Andy, I heard that back then that there was British reporters, because Khan's always been a big deal. British reporters went out there to do features on Khan, and some of them couldn't stand the gym and watch him sparring. It was savage.
Yeah. I just hope someone gets behind him and just says no to that Pacquiao fight. If that is being seriously touted as a fight, but that needs to stop. Someone needs to say, look, you're a punch away from ending up like being in a wheelchair or a hospital or not being able to talk or whatever. So yeah,
surely he wouldn't pass a medical at this stage, like a brain
scan. You
scan.
wouldn't have thought so, but it'll be like an exhibition, though, Rob.
He's banned.
These things get
he's
away
banned,
with it,
though, isn't he?
Oh yeah, well that's up probably now. I'd say.
No, it's a 2-year ban, is it not?
Oh, it's 2 years.
Is it not a 2-year ban that you got?
And don't forget, people like Khan, they was boxing Victor Ortiz when I was 14, 15 in junior Olympic tournaments. They've been elite for a long, long time, and it catches up with you.
Yeah, and his legs were gone as well. Like his legs were totally gone for the last 3 to 4 years. He should have retired 4 years ago.
Part of his problem was he tried to prove he could take a shot. So
he was macho,
he had to stand and he had to fucking show his ego. Fucking, but look what happens, mate. That's like 10 years later. Look at the state he's in.
I think the Garcia fight ruined him. I think he took too much punishment in the Garcia fight because Garcia, remember, dropped him heavily, but it took him a long time to finish him. And in that time of finishing him, he took a sustained beating for about fucking one round. At the end of one round, dropped heavily, and then late in the next round, he got finally stopped. But he was in a bad way, and I think that fight ended him. completely.
The Canelo one stole whatever was left of it. Like, I mean, he was doing well first
Canelo
5
knockouts,
rounds.
you gotta think he's hit his fucking head off the back of the fucking. He hit his head on the way down as well. Remember, he hit his head off the back of the canvas. That was. I thought he was dead. I thought Canelo. I killed him that night.
I trolled Donnie with that.
This is really funny, guys.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Danny, who was your vote for?
I'll just give it to Mr. Fury, Father Fury.
All right, Des, who do you got?
I've got to go with John Fury.
Fury. Rob,
academic,
inconsequential, who are you going for?
Doesn't fucking matter, does it? Like, yeah, any of them. I like the guy who's in it. At least they're not boxing. That was pretty good. Like, that was one of the most. It was a bit somber.
That's who I was gonna go with too.
The whole mood was a little bit somber, but that's what we're here for. Like a bit of lighthearted shit. Like the whole pod tonight was a bit somber because I think we're all a bit fucking in disarray with where the sport is. But that is fucking hilarious. Like, absolutely brilliant.
But I've got to say.
Yeah,
I do
fair
find
play to
John
Rick.
Fury a bit of a guilty
Unfortunately, he
pleasure.
didn't bank enough rounds early to win. What's that?
I do find John Fury a little bit of a guilty pleasure. Like, you know, he's going to say something stupid. You know, it's cringe. You know, he's going to make a prat of himself, and you just can't stop yourself watching it.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're Des. That clan, that they are something else. You got the lineal heavyweight champion of the world. You got his dad, who was the literal Gypsy King at one point in time, and they also have the value of the week. So congratulations.
And Tommy Fury with a fucking razor thin decision over KSI here recently as well.
Fuck! I already tried. I thought I blocked that out already. Thanks, Rob. Fuck me. I got that back again. Real quick before we go, I would like to say I almost forgot about this as we were going through so much. Had some of the guys chip in the group with their pound for pound lists. And the way I just calculated it was back number 1, you got 10 points. If you were the number 10, you got a point. If you appeared on every single list that was kicked in, you got an extra point for every single list. And there was a handful of them that did. The Boxing Nutters pound for pound, which might be a little bit different after Fury last night, and some of them lists came in before that performance, but he is just outside of it. He 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, he was 10. Coming in at number 10, Tyson Fury. Number 9, Teofimo Lopez. Number 8, Gervonta Davis. Number 7, Artur Beterbiev. Number 6, Devin Haney. Number 5, Dimitri Bivol. Number 4, Canelo Alvarez. Number 3, Oleksandr Usyk. Number 2, just by a hair, Inoue, and then coming out in front as the number 1 pound for pound sport fighter in the sport, according to the Boxing Nutters group, is of course Terrence Bud Crawford. So I
too high on that list.
If anybody would like to. There was somebody that had him way back in their list. They had him at 10. I think that might have been Butters.
Yeah.
Yep. I put him. I don't know. I had him. That's where I had him.
Number 1, probably.
I had him at 4 because I have him ahead of Canelo. I saw him whoop up on Canelo.
Yeah, but he hasn't got anything other than that, though. The only reason I had him I think I had him about like 6. I think it was. It was just purely on the basis that he'd beaten Canelo, and that was it.
He has good wins at light heavyweight, but light heavyweight's fucking division's very slim picking since Ward left it. Like he had beaten Sullivan Barrera, but it's just he hasn't had impressive wins. Like, we'll see if he beats Beterbiev, he has a legit claim to be in there, I think. But
yeah, agreed.
I don't know if he's going to beat Beterbiev. I saw a fucking face off with the two of them. Beterbiev's head's like 2 times bigger than Bivol's head. He's fucking massive.
Animal, isn't it, mate?
He's a monster. Jesus.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, that'd be a great fight, and whoever wins that fight, I think is going to would jump out if that were to happen. Considering his time out of the ring, his age, etc., I'm not discounting Callum Smith against Beterbiev. I know people think I'm nuts on that one, but Callum Johnson came close. Callum Johnson came close.
Nah, but Beterbiev was going to smash him up. But I think Bivol has a good chance of beating him. Staying away from him.
anyone that beats Beterbiev has got to switch him off, and you're going to have really good fundamentals. And I think Bivol's got the fundamentals to switch Beterbiev off.
I agree with that.
Well, yeah, it's kind of you got to keep him from being planted so that he has power. It's kind of like going back to Fury's great performance against Klitschko when he was able to take the Klitschko jab away. That was the fight right there. So the question is if he can manage to keep Beterbiev from getting planted too often and wearing you down, because you do have to remember that Beterbiev is not a one-punch knockout guy, even though he's a big-ass puncher with a 100% knockout rate. He just kind of beats you down and beats you down and beats you.
And that's why I don't like about the Smith,
that jab,
the Smith
just
fight,
freaking
Matty.
thudding, and it tears you up.
Sorry, Matty, I jumped on because you were still going there. But that's what I was saying about the Smith fight. If Smith has that high guard, Beterbiev is just going to work to the body, open up that guard, and he's going to put him on a deck about round 8.
Yeah, considering the size, he might be able to do what Canelo couldn't. Canelo just ended up chasing him more or less for most of the fight. But anyways, Andy, did you want to jump in before we hop out?
He felt power off Canelo when he went on his bike. So what's he going to do with Beterbiev? You know that way?
All I was going to say is go back and watch that video of Beterbiev just practicing his jab against a padded foam bag against the wall.
That's brilliant.
Holy fuck, man. It was legitimate, like a fucking 84 showing off shotgun going off there, man. It was just frightening.
I tried to look for that recently, Andy, by the way, but I couldn't find it. I found a version, but not that one.
All right, you see if I can find it.
It was great. Beterbiev versus the wall. I do remember that one. Funny enough, that's Kovalev used to do that before fights, and they said it was to help harden his gloves, punching the wall before the fight kickoff.
I was looking back last week, and we went down a Don King rabbit hole. I ended up going down YouTube rabbit hole myself and looking at the fucking video of Mitch Blood Green confronting Don King and threatening to kill him because Don King had put Bone Crusher Smith in as a late replacement on the Thursday before the fight Tim Witherspoon after one of the heavyweights got popped for fucking cocaine, like it was the thing in the 80s. But then it went on to Mitch Green calling out Tyson, and that's the kind of fucking call outs that we need from Mike Tyson. He was calling Mike Sissy Tyson, and he was calling him a H to the Izzo. He said to him, what did he say? He said he's a tutti frutti, and I'm going to kick that booty. So we need that. That would be much better than fucking. What would Mitch Blood Green be worth in today's climate when you see these clowns like John Fury fucking hyping up fights and getting YouTube views? What would Mitch Green be worth these days? I mean, he'd be cancelled after 5 minutes because you can't be calling people what he was calling them these days. Like, but absolute, what a fucking character, man! Unbelievable.
Oh shit! Well, went down a little rabbit hole there. God, I guess we'll end the show here. Might as well. We did get a couple of super chats in there from our buddy Liam Wynn and also Chris Butler. Thank you both very much. We appreciate that. Keeping the show alive. We had a pretty heavy week this week. I'm sorry about the audio and tech issues on my end. I don't know what is going on exactly, but we'll get it figured out for next week. And Steve will be back anyways. Joining us today, we'd like to thank Danny Young, Des, Rob Kelly, Andy Patterson, Ozzie Smith also made his joyous return as well. I've been your host, Matt DiGelinardo, and you folks have yourself a good one, and we'll be back to get through whatever boxing options we can muster through the week. You folks take care of yourself. Have yourself a good week.
We'll never forget.
I think that's good happening.
Go to move!
We want to be honest, yeah?
Crying like a little bitch. I've never met a fucking soul that can fight me.
I fell asleep. I fell asleep.
You're a fucking bum, you're a fucking asshole.
Rumpo fucking Steltskin.
But allegedly, Oscar Rivas has failed a test.
7-year ain't. 7-year ain't. I will fucking smash fucking you.
I hope you fucking die.
Be safe.
I love boxing sounds. Simple as that.
Hi,